Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Pylon Show episode number 143. Still hosted by. No, by me, actually. I apologize, guys. But we're going to fix that intro eventually. I am joined by three lovely gentlemen, and we may actually have another surprise guest towards the end, but he's not awake yet. But we're just going to do our best. Talk about a lot of StarCraft 2 related stuff, as obviously we had no episode last week. We blame DreamHack, and we also blame Rotti for being busy and Cobra for being busy, and also a lot of the guests just not being available. And obviously, I can have a monologue, but that wouldn't be so fun. But tonight we've got a cool episode, and this is obviously the evening before the storm that is the Stay at Homestory Cup kicks off, which is not quite an actual Homestory Cup. But this episode should help to get you guys in the mood because we're all very excited. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about all the other esports stuff that has happened over the last 2 weeks. And don't forget that, as always, we have a Q&A. So if you are a Patreon supporter to the Pylon Show, you can always submit your questions. And if we didn't talk about one thing that you think is very important, always feel free to ask, guys. Just because I don't talk about it by myself doesn't mean you can't ask. We can talk about whatever you guys want at the Pylon Show, but just submit your questions. Well, let's go ahead and introduce the lovely guests that are already here and perhaps are going to be the only lovely guests of the evening. Let's kick things off with the man who thinks that I have no lights in my living room. What's up, Reynor? How are you doing tonight?
What's up, guys? Oh, good. I actually would rather stay in the dark. I love it.
The man wins a tournament from my living room and now makes it seem like I'm keeping him in a basement. It is absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, Rotti, you did tell me to not spend too much on the lights and everything, so I'm just keeping it down.
That is true. The costs are going through the roof whenever you're here. I mean, this morning, guys, true story. Wardi Steadfast, true story. This morning, I wake up, I go to my bathroom, and I wear contact lenses. I have glasses too, but the glasses don't really work for me walking around the house. So I put in my contacts this morning, and I'm freaking blind. I'm like, what happened? This dickhead actually flipped the contact lenses where my left one became the right one and the right one became the left one. So I put things in my eye and I'm completely blind. He's like, oh, sorry, I knocked it over in the dark. It is absolutely unbelievable. So yes,
It
you know
was
what?
just a mistake.
Yeah.
Look, we had this beard shaver, and he was on my stairs for some reason. And I walked down at 5 a.m. wanted to pee in the bathroom, and I go down, I knock this thing over, and I'm like, oh shit! I hope Rotti didn't wake up. And I picked this thing up, but it's all dark. I didn't turn the light on. I don't know. It was 5 a.m. I didn't understand anything. All sleepy. So I go in the bathroom. I tried to put this thing down, but it was upside down. So it fell again. I did a big mess, and he woke up and was like, "Oh, good. Yeah, nothing happened. Don't worry."
It's a bottle of shaving cream that was on the stairs. He kicks it over at 5 a.m. He's like, I'm like, whoa. I was like, okay, I already knew it was the bottle of shaving cream. He goes into the bathroom. I was like, oh my God, what is this kid doing?
Well, I hope
Anyway, it's
I'm
great to
glad
have
you
you on.
covered my tracks as well.
Yeah, sure. It's great to have you on. We're going to talk about your awesome victory, of course, as well a little bit later. Next up, the man. Well, actually, both of you guys really never stop casting StarCraft, so I don't know who this intro belongs to. But let's kick things off with Steadfast, who is joining us once more. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today, matey?
I'm doing great. Feeling a little bit better after hearing about that epic prank from Reynor there. The epic blinding prank. That's really funny. Just a classic, classic move. Yeah, I'm doing great. Happy to be on here once again. Besides such amazing talent here, I think it's the first time being on a show with Wardi, which I'm pretty excited about. And first time being on with Reynor as well. Going to talk about pizza and how Kelazur is the best European Terran now.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, no cap. He took a map.
No cap. And then the other man who just finished up a 4 or 5 hour cast, I believe it was, and obviously went strong on the Monday too, because ESO had maintenance, but that secretly makes for an awesome Monday for us. Ain't that right, Wardi? How you doing, mate?
Mm-hmm. I'm good, mate. 8 hours, I'll have you know. It's yeah, for 8 hours, it's not the weekend yet. So I'm good. StarCraft's turning. I'm glad that DreamHack's over. I've been saying this all week so far. I'm so glad I can stream again, man. I forgot that when you stream past like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you actually make money while streaming because it's been a while. Let me just say that. It's been a while since I've been allowed to stream at that time. And the people are nice, so
It's funny how that works, right? Like on one hand, we all love it when DreamHack is on because we can always tune into some awesome StarCraft 2, but it also feels that the days that we are not part of the broadcast, it's like, rub your hands. It's like, I guess I'm a fan. Like, you turn on the television, you watch some games, and you're like, this is awesome, but I also feel like I'm missing something. I miss the feeling of being productive, and I miss the feeling of working towards something. But the good news is there is plenty of StarCraft to get excited over the upcoming days. And I know that you'll be covering a lot of that as well, Wardi, but we'll talk about that later. Since we haven't been on for a while, we haven't even spoken about something that's kind of a big deal, of course, and that is the GSL Finals. So Cobra, who is the voice of God and the hand of God here at the Pylon Show, why don't you go ahead and bring up the results of the GSL Finals? Because I think that's something that's somewhat relevant to talk about on the Pylon Show. The weekly, bi-weekly almost at this point, StarCraft 2 talk show. Let's kick things off with perhaps the man who wasn't paying too close attention, but he is the highest MMR of the four of us, unfortunately. Nobody's Terran, though. He's Terran this week. Reynor, did you watch the GSL Finals between Zest and Cure?
Look, first of all, we played 2 days ago and I absolutely destroyed you, Kevin. But
Yeah,
that's
because you
not,
have all my you have all my good equipment. Okay, that's why. But okay, I
Okay, that
digress.
could be true. I have the sideline buff, but actually I didn't. And I saw a couple of games, but I thought they were. Okay, not trying to shit on the Koreans or anything, but I thought they were very low level, and I kind of tuned out. But yeah, just overall happy for Cure that he won. Obviously, I think it's his first. So
Yep.
yeah, always good to see a different champion.
Okay, so before I ask the other two guys then and their thoughts about the GSL final and Cure's championship, was there anything else that really excited you about this season of the GSL? This was the final long season. I think they still have a super tournament left, but what were your overall feelings and enjoyment of watching GSL season 3?
I mean, I usually don't watch GSL too much because it's usually after before I wake up. So it's I'm a bit of a degen, but yeah, I don't follow GSL too much, honestly. But yeah, so if some games are good, I'll just ask if the games are good, and if they are, I'll just watch them. But as of right now, I actually don't remember too much. Maybe a bit of Zesrogue, and I thought the series was fine. But yeah, I'm not too excited about GSL usually.
Do you understand that this would sound like crazy talk to a lot of StarCraft 2 fans at home that probably love watching DreamHack, but also love watching GSL, that they find it absolutely insane that the reigning world champion of StarCraft 2 doesn't watch the GSL? What would you have to say to
I mean,
that
I
statement?
do watch it. Like if I know some games are interesting, I'll catch the VOD later. But it's not like I die to watch the GSL. Like I mean, it's different. It's different interests, honestly. Like especially for some matchups, like Korean CVZ doesn't interest me too much. I mean, if I have to play against a certain player, I'm always gonna catch the VOD. But like some wild things happen over there, and yeah, they're not. You can't copy that stuff, so it's not too interesting for me. I would rather watch DreamHack if I'm out.
Okay. Steadfast, I know it's been a while ago, but I know that you've been watching the GSL finals. Cure gets his first W. What did you make of it?
So I didn't see the games in too much detail. But I always follow along because it's like a huge story. I've never been a big fan of watching VODs. I always like to watch stuff live. Then it's just not an option to watch GSL live for me. But the storyline of Zest and Cure is unreal. It's one of the best storylines I think we've had in a really long time for GSL. First of all, we've got Zest, who it's been so long since he's won a championship. We know he's going to the military. He has been playing every freaking online cup for so long. Like for the last it feels like a year. And he has been absolutely dominating them. Like he's been so good. Him and Cure went in the ESL Open Cup Koreas, and over the course of 5 weeks, actually across all the ESL Open Cups, I think they won 9 of the 15 cups over a 5-week span at one point, which was insane. That just won't be repeated again. It was so good. So Zest had this absolute desire, really wanted to win. It's basically his last tournament. He might play Super Tournament, we're not sure, but yeah. And then he beats Rogue in a best of 7 when no one has ever done that. Ever. People just don't beat Rogues in a best of 7+. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, offline.
Yeah. That's true. And then you had Cure, who he's been really, really good. We know he's been one of the best Korean Terrans for a long time. Didn't really have like the results to show for it. And like a lot of people were like, "Oh man, Cure chokes like offline, blah blah blah," because like he beat, I think he beat Innovation, and then he got dumpstered by TY like the next series, and it was like, well, it was kind of a fluke that he beat Innovation 4-3 in a best of 7. It's like, are you out of your mind? Like, no, it's not. It's not a fluke to beat Innovation. Yeah, there might have been some like weird scenarios in the games, but you still have to be like a top 4 player in the world to do that. Like, you got to be so good. So like you had this scenario where the two of them, one of them was going to win it for the first time. So cool, absolutely unreal. And going into that series, get these stats. They were 55 and 55 in sets.
Mm-hmm.
They were even in sets across their entire career. They'd played so many games. Though for Zest won that one. Sorry, Cure won that one. Cure won that one.
Yeah.
But Zest has 203 maps to like 194. But Cure won their like lifetime series with that. Basically, it was just unreal.
That's
like
awesome.
I couldn't believe it.
You get people incredibly excited until they watch the game, and then they realize that 4 out of the 6 games are 7 minutes long. But that is honestly, I get the hype, and that is obviously really cool to get some backstory about it. Sometimes I actually wish that Nick and Dan would bring up some stats a bit more. Like, it's always a fine line, right, Wardi? Because some stats are relevant, some stats are completely irrelevant. But if I listen to Steadfast here, I'm like, this is freaking cool. Why did I not know about this?
Yeah, I know. That's like a cool story. I think Zest and Cure, it's so easy to throw away Zest and Cure's story because they play so much online, and everyone's like, "Oh, online." It's like Cure didn't win a GSL. It's like, well, he got second place to T1. Like, he didn't win a GSL. He got lucky to get there, right? And yeah, it's easy to throw that stuff away. Yeah, no, stats are cool. Like at the end of the day, like they're playing the online cups for a reason. It's not like they don't care. Like that's the craziest thing that sometimes people think they're like, well, it doesn't count because it's online. It's like, well, if it doesn't, like, they're not playing properly. It's like, well, why are they playing? They're like, I don't know. They're forced to. I'm like, yeah, I've got them to gunpoint over here, making them play in the Wardi TV Cup tonight, guys. Sorry. Zaz actually just wants to leave and, spend some time with his family. But I'm like, no, play another tournament at 6 a.m. But yeah, no, some stats would be cool. This season of GSL was honestly kind of underwhelming. I think like Parton winning his group was cool, but then he loses in playoffs again. Rogue Q was really good in the groups, and I think out of the playoffs, like Zest Rogue and Rogue Dark were pretty nice in terms of games. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the PVTs were very kind of one-sided and not so interesting and stuff. And that was kind of a lot of the playoffs and a lot of the season. So
I actually felt the group stage was better than the playoffs because I remember watching some of the groups and I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the mood. I'm feeling it because season 2 wasn't all that for me. But yeah, then unfortunately, I guess Zest Rogue was truly freaking cool and that was a bit of a highlight. I think Rogue Dark, the 3-2 was obviously awesome. Finals, I did really want to get excited and obviously I did watch, but I'm kind of with you, Wardi. It's like you watch one of these finals and I feel like the biggest takeaway for all of us was like, oh, that's nice for Cure. He deserves it. World-class player. Obviously, had never won the GSL before yet, so we're all kind of happy for him. And the Romanticide game that we are watching a couple of highlights of, I think that was quite dope, but I think that was kind of the highlight. A lot of the other games were just a bit short. But I think TLDR is still cool. Happy for Cure. And anything else that you guys really want to add about GSL Season 3?
I want to kind of reiterate the point of like it. So even if the games weren't necessarily the best, like it could have been highlighted so much better of like, well, these guys play so many games of StarCraft against each other. And you could have talked about like the deep levels of mind game, because I guarantee you there is like if you think there's like mind games in StarCraft 2, and there are, when you play like 400 competitive maps against another player, there's going to be like 17 levels of mind games. Like you can really, really hype that up. And it sounds like based on like everyone's kind of lackluster response to it, it sounds like unfortunately it wasn't put forward. But like I wish we got more of that like storyline building, because like this was a really great story, if nothing else.
Yep. I think that is perhaps the best way to put it. So shout out once more to Cure. They do still have a super tournament to get excited over. I'm not exactly sure on when that is going to take place. Do you know that by any chance, Wardi? Because I'm sure you interact with the Korean players.
Yeah, I actually do know. It's give me like 1 second. I'll just
All right.
Let me
make sure
just
I'm correct
Google
about
it.
it.
How are they going to fit
It's
all of this in towards the end of the year, guys? Because we have King of Battles,
It
we've got
starts-
TSL, there is a Stay-at-Homestory Cup the upcoming 4
Yeah.
days, and a super tournament. How are we going to fit this in? And when is the last chance qualifiers? Don't we have those too?
Yeah. It's at the end of November, like last week of November, first week of December. It overlaps with the Chinese tournament that's coming up, and it's kind of in
But
the middle
that's
of TSL as well, so it's kind of
yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
It's
I feel like
going on.
that overlaps with TSL too, because TSL is happening around that time. I know that
Yeah.
we have our
There's,
final weekend.
There is basically for 3 weeks straight, 3 weeks and a weekend. There's like high level, premier level tournament happening every single day. And then this moment that TSL ends, we have a weekly, and then we have last chance qualifiers. So,
How did we get here, guys? How did we get here? There is a pandemic going on, and I understand we don't have too many offline tournaments, even though we're getting excited for the German one in the upcoming days. But it's like every weekend is just filled up. Like we have something big every single weekend.
But there's no weekend free. I actually had to cancel a tournament because there's just no time. Like it's actually insane. StarCraft 2 actually has like an oversaturation problem almost. And I think some of it's people are taking advantage of online stuff you can do over multiple weekends in a way, right? So maybe stuff that used to be 1 weekend is now like 3 weeks long or something. But it's definitely like it's crazy. We've got so much happening. Yeah, what's scrolling through on the screen right now, there's things after that aren't even announced yet, basically, that are gonna fill up as well. So it's freaking busy.
How's it for you as a player, Reynor? Do you feel like if you look at your agenda for the upcoming 2 months, is that something that stresses you out, or are you just on the impression of the more the merrier?
Well, I like playing a lot of tournaments, but I think there's a line. I think there's a limit for everything, and yeah, sometimes if I feel like I have to play a tournament every day, especially if it's a different tournament, let's say I finish, for example, DreamHack, and the next day I have something else. Like that kind of stuff starts to become a bit stressful, but yeah, it's doable, obviously. Like no biggie. It's a bit stressful, but always doable.
Alrighty. Well, let's move on and talk about the tournament that has absolutely kept us busy over the last 3 weeks and a bit. And those were the DreamHack Masters Winter. I don't want to say hopefully the last of the online DreamHacks, but at least hopefully the last of this format, because I was super excited the first time they announced it. I loved the idea of it. I thought it was awesome. Different storylines as well. My heart always beats a bit faster, but seeing new people break into the top 32 for the first time, I find that kind of stuff cool to follow. But after doing this basically for 2 years now almost, and 6 seasons, like we had summer, fall, winter last year, and now we had it again. If the pandemic somehow forces us to do something similar again, at least in the beginning of 2022, or what year is it anyway? It's 2021, right? Yeah, 2022. Then please let's switch it up, guys, because I don't think I can do this again. It goes on for a long time, and at this point I think we all kind of know what to expect. It's been great though, don't get me wrong, but it's also been enough. 6 seasons of this is enough. Let's talk about NA first. Steadfast, let's touch on your region quickly. I know that you've covered a lot of these games. I mean, crazy storylines obviously in the group stage already. Talk to me, mate. What stood out for you?
Okay, so yeah, crazy storyline. The craziest we've probably seen from NA in a very, very long time was Neeb almost getting eliminated in groups. He was this close. He was 1 map away from getting eliminated in groups, which is insane because he had, up to that point, I think he'd won like 2 or 3 seasons in a row, like, or if not, it was always top 2, always top 3. Like it was guaranteed. It was autocomplete. Like it was not even an option. He would get there. But he started off 0-4 in his group. He looked very off. He almost dropped his 3rd series to Asuna, including like a supply block at 23. He literally forgot his 2nd pylon. So like I was like, dude, like did Neeb get actually kidnapped? Like what happened? Like is he okay? So like, it was just this mind-blowing situation where, it was other players playing really well, but I think it was honestly just Neeb like just having a few off days. And then he managed to like barely on the last day qualify by 1 map into the playoffs. And then poor Asuna had to play him in the first round there. The tournament played out pretty like normally from there. Like he made his way back through and it was good. And it was really nice to see like a recovery story there because like I know Neeb and I know that he is really hard on himself. So losing a match the way that he did, like that weighed on him, you know, like that weighed on him a lot. I am 100% certain of that. So I'm glad that he was able to recover. But like, my God, like I don't know if he was just like, yeah, man, people don't watch NA enough. Let me create some drama. But yeah, ultimately he did battle his way back and even came back in to make it to the grand finals, including a really great series over Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scarlet won her first tournament. I feel like I talked all about Neeb, but like Scarlet won the first DreamHack Masters NA in either a really long time or like she actually took it down pretty effectively and like.
She definitely won last year.
Yeah.
I know
Last
that
year?
much.
Okay.
Yeah, last year they all got one. I think Australia got the final one, Scarlet got the second one, Neeb got the first one. But out of the 3 seasons, Australia was the best performer because I think Australia always made top 2, while the other 2 went first and third sometimes, etc., etc. But it's definitely the first of the year. So yeah, definitely a big deal for Scarlet. Neeb's storyline was crazy. Reynor, as a top tier pro in the foreign scene, what do you make of a storyline where Neeb is A, almost getting eliminated in the group, and B, starting his group off like 0-2, 0-4? When you hear that as a fellow competitor, what do you think is going on?
I mean, I think Alex wasn't practicing. Alex is Neeb, and I think Neeb wasn't really playing too much. Like once you start getting out of the group, no matter how you play, you're always gonna play less because you know Neeb is basically playing this tournament only, and you know it's a almost guaranteed money for him and going to the season finals all the time. And I think he stopped practicing because he gave it for certain that he would get out of the group at least and get a good positioning, second or third or first. And yeah, so I think he stopped practicing, and yeah, you know, this eventually happened, and I think this is a wake-up call for him as well. And it should be like, hey, if I stop practicing, I'm kind of resetting my level, especially after a long time that you don't practice. It's always gonna get worse and worse. And I think Neeb got this as a wake-up call because I saw him practicing again, and yeah, I think sometimes it's actually good to lose a few series.
What I do wonder though is, what would a guy like Neeb do during a pandemic if he's not playing a whole lot of StarCraft? Yeah, you're laughing, Wardi, but I just like wonder. I highly
What
doubt
does
that
mean?
Neeb is not only going to NASCAR races or something and drinking Bud Lights all day, right? Like, what would he
do
be
you know?
doing?
Maybe Alex is a savage and we don't know it yet.
Do you know for sure that he was not practicing? Because my understanding is he plays like a crap. Like even when he's not like playing for turn, I always thought that he was always playing. You know.
I'm 99% sure he wasn't practicing. Like
Okay.
maybe he had a secret account on NA that he plays with, during 5 a.m. in Europe, and that I don't know of. But yeah, I don't think he was practicing too much. Otherwise, I would not be able to explain this either. Like, how do you suddenly go from 7-0 every time in a group to losing to guys you shouldn't really lose to, especially if you're practicing a lot? Like that doesn't happen. You just don't get suddenly worse and then good again, because he obviously did very good in the bracket, as you can see. So I don't know, maybe a bad day, but that's not only a day. So I think he wasn't practicing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, technically it was only a day, but then he also started the second day off very shaky. But the first 2 series were on one day. Wardi, what were your overall thoughts of NA this season? We don't have to go on about NA forever, but did you enjoy watching the NA games and casting them?
Yeah, it's an experience, isn't it? I think NA is fun because I try, when NA goes on, I actually have no idea who's going to win which series, and the more I try and research it, the less it makes sense to me. And I feel like NA is fun at least because like you don't know a lot of what's going to happen, and you do see a lot of players. I feel like that's what's kind of nice versus like EU, where a lot of the crazier matches that maybe aren't as well kind of like defined in EU happen on the B stream and stuff. Whereas on NA, we get more of those on the mainstream. So I actually kind of like NA in that regard. And it switches up a bit, like because it's smaller. I feel like you see a few different players in NA, and it doesn't feel like it drags out as much, So Yeah, just to reiterate basically what you said at first, like I'm so ready for a new format. It's
Yeah.
like honestly, I get what they gotta do, but like it would even be more interesting if you just seeded like the top 8 of last season into like a bracket already, and then everyone else plays a round robin because there's so many games where it's just like this guy's gonna win. It's like, oh my god, they dropped a map. Oh, they dropped the series. It just doesn't matter because they're still gonna go to the winner bracket, right? It's like they
Come
might
on,
get a
Wardy.
bad
I made it
matchup.
interesting this season with
Yeah.
all my spicy games in the group stages.
You cost me a
Kilos
lot of
first.
prediction. You lost a lot of prediction points, mate. But yeah, I can't believe you won that game on the top right of Blackburn. Was it? We have
Blackburn, yeah, actually sick.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
NA was fun. Just to wrap up NA, basically, NA was fun.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think so too. I think the best way to sum up NA, guys, is that Asuna got 3-0'd by Pure Legacy in the final round of the qualifier. Then Pure Legacy goes 1-6, and Asuna goes 5-2 and makes it into the playoffs. Like this is really these kind of things don't normally happen in StarCraft 2. This is not the kind of game where everyone just beats everyone all the time. But apparently in NA, there is always a little bit of magic in the air. What did you want to say,
make
Steadfast,
XW.
real quick?
No, I just want to say that I love how Wardy presented that. Like it was, he just like walked up to the NA scene with like hand outstretched, like ready to shake their hand, and like drew them in for a nice close embrace, and then just had like a 70-foot katana just right through the center and like shooting out the back, just
I love
eviscerated the
NA.
NA scene.
It's just a different experience, right? I go into EU and I kind of know what I'm going to see for the day. I go into NA and I couldn't even tell you what slight strategy to expect, right? And
No,
nothing surprised me in NA. It's great.
It's trust me, as someone who is a connoisseur of the NA ladder and the NA scene, I understand what you're saying, and it's like, yeah, it's definitely it's a whole it's the Wild West. It is absolutely crazy, and anything could happen. I do want to, yeah, I don't think we gave enough credit to Asuna. Asuna came very prepared for every series he went into. He had some absolutely nonsensical builds that were just so much fun to watch.
He made it fun. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily like the top tier StarCraft 2 that you always look for, especially not in the foreign scene, but it is also really cool to see players come in with something different, something prepared. And I did really enjoy watching the webcam of someone like Australia while he was battling it out with Asuna, where it's just like, what the hell are these games? Like 9 minutes into the best of 5, the score was 2-1. Like it was absolutely ridiculous, but a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, all of these regional tournaments lead up to the season finals. The way that always works is that the top 4 of the GSL gets invited. Then the 4 people that lost in the quarterfinals, they play the Korea play-ins. It's already happened a while ago. So the top 6 of Korea is Trap, Zest, Cure, Maru, Rogue, Dark. Then we have Neeb and Scarlet. So Neeb, despite the rocky start, did qualify for the season finals. We had Special, of course, from Latin America. I mean, what you feel about NA or the format in general, I do really feel about Latin America. I cannot cast another season of Special winning Latin America and qualifying for the season finals, because after doing that for 6 seasons in a row, it's really getting to me. China did have an absolutely fantastic final, and if you guys missed that, you should definitely check it out. Maynard and Piggy casted their hearts out, where Cyan got a victory over time. That was really cool. We had nice winning in Taiwan once more. And for the first time ever, we had T-Bull winning in Oceania. Like, Oceania is at an awkward time, because that's kind of the time where a lot of Europeans think, like, okay, we can still stream because DreamHack Masters Europe is not going on. So we don't always get to watch it. And, like, I know you run some tournaments then too, Wardi, but T-Bull actually winning it was a little bit of a surprise. And then Probe, who won the previous season, now went out in the group stage. So that's also kind of wild and stuff we don't normally see in StarCraft. But that, of course, leaves us with the European region. Cobra, go ahead and bring up. I think the groups we already pretty much covered, but we can take a split.
Yeah.
We can take a quick look at the groups as well. Look at Reynor. He's already smiling because he knows. Yeah, this is where things get a little bit uncomfortable. And you can't say that the internet
is
is...
smiling about Oceania. You know, I always crack a laugh when I hear that region. No, I'm kidding.
Why?
I'm kidding. No,
Why
I'm
is
kidding,
that?
Kevin. No, don't make me go into detail. No, I'm kidding. It was a joke. But
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the groups then real quick. Was there anything that really stood out for you in the groups, Reynor? Like any performances from players that you didn't expect?
Yeah, it looks like that Italian Zerg actually made 7-0, which is kind of impressive in a group like that, you know, full of guys that can trick your brain and destroy your brain at any time. And looks like he managed to come out on top. And yeah, apart from that, just the usual. I think Harsten making it out very good. The Spirit guy, never heard of him, but yeah, he made it out. Very interesting. And yeah, that's it.
I think we are kind of already covered all the groups. I don't think there were too many crazy upsets other than maybe Mana not making it into the playoffs. So let's just go ahead and talk about the playoffs then, because we never spoke about it on the Pylon show. And I do think it's safe to say we had a very interesting week of playoffs, even though this format goes on for a long time and we've done it 6 seasons and everyone is perhaps a little bit burned out about it. The playoffs were fun, Wardi, weren't they?
Yeah, I like the playoffs. The playoffs had a lot of really cool games in. They had a lot of really cool results as well. I'm trying to bring it up so I can talk about something in particular, but I just remember a lot of the playoff matches off the top of my head immediately were just like, it was different. I didn't expect certain players to get through. I think Denver's run, for example, was really fun. I think that was obviously one of the bigger highlights, because especially when I felt like Denver going into this season, I always felt like Denver. It's like you never know what to expect. I expect him to be better than he isn't, and then he actually had some cool results, and we find out he's not really full time anymore. And then he has this run where he 3-0 Gung Fu, who I thought was cool to make the playoffs in the first place because we talked about him crashing out a couple of times. Then he beats Lambo, of course, and yeah, I just thought that was pretty sick. And yeah, I mean, I think that was my favorite storyline from the playoffs. I think a lot of the lower bracket scrapping around was a lot of fun, but in terms of storylines, obviously it didn't really get interesting until you talk season final matchups.
Mm-hmm. Steadfast, watching, casting playoffs. I don't know. Did you had it one day, right? And during the playoffs, or
No, not during the playoffs. Just the one day during the regular season, or not. Well, I catch
You had a
myself
day.
tripping up on it all the time because it's group
Yeah.
stage and there's the qualifiers and there's the closed qualifiers and then there's the playoffs and then there's final stage. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't get any of the playoffs, but yeah, there was some really fantastic stuff. Showtime, who everyone knows he is so good, but he's stumbled, like he hasn't had a great performance in any of these playoffs. He showed up and he just absolutely steamrolled Hero Marine. 3-0 scoreline, that's fantastic. And then goes forward and, runs into the king of prep, Mr. Marine Lord, and absolutely just takes him down. And then versus Cyril, almost beats him in the winter bracket finals. Like, holy crap, Showtime. Like, let's go, man. Like, that's awesome. And we're seeing a lot more of these players in EU. Okay, so the EU scene has grown up so much in the last, 6 months to a year, where it used to be that just the best players in the world, or in EU, would win with mechanics. Cyril was the first person to do that. He would just grind his opponent into dust with better mechanics. And then this, I don't know if you've heard of him, this Italian kid came out of nowhere and started challenging him and started becoming kind of his bane. And then he started beating Cyril, and then he started doing the same thing and kind of grinding his opponent down with mechanics. And you've just seen this development where more and more players have started popping up that can do that. And as a result, we're now starting to see some of these players who were auto wins before now have to approach things a little bit more strategically. We've seen Hero Marine has stepped up a lot. He's started preparing a lot more for his matches. Marine Lord's done the same thing. We're seeing Showtime now did that this season. Cyril did that versus Clem, which I never thought we'd see Cyril approach a best of 5 or best of 7 with a roguelike mindset. And I want to give a shout out Lambo. Lambo did it DreamHack Masters Summer, where he prepped Cyril to an early grave. He prepped Hero Marine to a grave. And then he nearly took down this Italian kid real close.
Close.
Oh, that was close. That game 5 on the Romantic side, I remember that one. That was real close. But yeah, go on.
Not even
Steadfast.
sweat, but yeah,
Down 30 army supply, no sweat.
it's all part of the plan.
It was, but yeah, honestly, just insane stuff. And then we have Reynor, who's apparently now switched into 70th gear and decided he's just not going to lose another map to a European Terran, as we saw in this week. It's so cool to see StarCraft 2 in the European scene. It almost feels like it's becoming a little bit like the Korean scene in that sense, where the top players are going to benefit so much more from prep time than they ever have before.
I think a couple of things absolutely stood out this season. Obviously, first up, Cyril winning Europe for the first time in 6 seasons. I know he won a lot of the season finals, guys, but he never won the DreamHack Masters Europe. So in the final try, 6 out of 6, he does finally go all the way. Obviously, finally stops Clem again after Clem had his number for quite some time. Showtime, now the second European product ever to make top 4 in DreamHack Masters Europe after Max Pax kind of blazed the trail last season. So I thought that was ultra cool. And then obviously another big story, we have to talk about it, is no Reynor in the top 4. The 2 European Terrans got the best of you. You're smiling, Reynor. You can take it with a smile, but obviously not an
smiling
enjoyable...
to not cry.
Yeah, it's better to not cry. But yeah, what do you make of it? Looking back at it right now, you had some time to digest it all.
I wouldn't want to cry on stream, but yeah, obviously a lot, very sad, especially it's the second season finals that I miss. And yeah, just but it's my own fault, you know. I learned a lot from these experiences. I think I showed it in the last cup as well. That it's a matter of little time for me to adjust a lot of things and to know what's wrong with me, to know what I'm doing wrong for the matchup, and a lot of that stuff is just a lot easier for me to fix if I actually lose. And if the losses hurt a lot, so yeah, I'm obviously sad, but I'm sure it's gonna bring a lot more happiness.
Were you also surprised that Jonah did manage to take Clem not down once, but twice, and obviously closing out the championship? Or did you see it coming? I know you said in the upper bracket in the
Yeah.
interview at DreamHack you kind of felt like it was coming, but were you surprised to see him do it 2 out of 2 times?
So the first time I predicted it, but the second time I actually thought Clem was gonna win. But I feel like Clem came into that series with the wrong idea, or it was a bit tilted. Like, I don't know, the games were just not it. Like, they played the standard game on Lightshade, and then that went into Clem's way, but even that game was kind of weird. Like, I don't think Clem was playing his best. He lost a CC to Lynx only, which you don't normally see from a guy that has 300 DPM, and yeah, just a very weird game. So obviously Yona approached the series with some good ideas. I actually had some very similar ideas for Clem, and yeah, I think Yona approached the series very well. So yeah, very good from him, and just not 2 fun games, but well, it is what it is.
Were you surprised, Wardi, to see Cyril getting the 4-1 in the grand finals over Clem?
Yeah, I predicted Clem mostly off the back of. I actually really felt like Cyril was going to win it, but watching Clem go through the lower bracket was kind of monstrous. Like 3-0 against Reynor, 3-1 Marine Lord, 3-0 Showtime. Like, he was just playing crazy good, especially like versus Showtime. Like, he just stepped it up, and I was like, wow. Because Clem is a real momentum-based player as well, so I thought the moment he does that, I'm like, okay, he is not messing around. So I kind of believed in Clem again. I thought he's going to take that series from the other day, turn it around. It's not going to look anything like the same, but it just wasn't really there. And honestly, it kind of feels like he's stumbling a little bit in his TVC a bit, because he's having a couple online performances which are just not really it. And I at first I was like, well, NA server, sometimes, his style doesn't relate well with ping, but now it happens on the European server with Cyril, and obviously Cyril's really good, and I think Cyril's playing great right now, but I don't think Clem, with the level of his TVC, should be not winning more than one map there, I feel like it should have been a bit closer.
I mean, that obviously makes Cyril, Showtime, Clem, and Marine Lord the top 4 of Europe, at least when it comes to the DreamHack Masters, and they will represent Europe at the season finals. These season finals will also be happening in November, by the way. I didn't even mention them before, guys. That is once more going to be broadcasted from Sweden, one of the DreamHack studios there, or the only DreamHack studio in Stockholm. And I believe they're going to do their best, and this is absolutely not confirmed, so don't take my word for it, but they are doing their best to get the players there as well, so I'm sure that we will all hear some updates about that soon. That would obviously be super dope, especially because we have to stay at Homestory Cup now, and then maybe some players in Sweden. That would obviously make the season finals a bit more prestigious. There's one more thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the season finals. And once more, there are some people are going to take this the wrong way. I already have it on my own stream. That's not what it is at all. Because I think we have an awesome group of casters. And I've obviously said many times in the past already, I'd love to see Steadfast more on the A stream. Because I know you put in the work. I like your knowledge. I like the energy, happiness, vibes you bring. I think you're good. I like Cats a lot, guys. But Cats was on for each and every single day of the final week of DreamHack Masters. That's pretty crazy to me when you've got such a large group to casters to pick from, to have one guy do each and every single day. And I know that obviously there was like a little we'll call it a scheduling conflict between one cast that was supposed to do 2 days at the final week. We'll call it a scheduling conflict, Wardi. So I understand that maybe like Cats stepped in for those 2 days, but then I also felt that they could have maybe like moved something around in one of the later days so we'd see some more faces. I was really surprised by this because, for instance, Steadfast, were you super busy the final week or would you have loved to do a day?
Oh, I mean, I could have been, busy as hell. I would have found a way. Like if I was in a wedding, I would have set up, like a little laptop on the side. I would have made it work. No, but I didn't even know about the scheduling conflict there. I was actually supposed to be on the A stream twice. It's funny that I'm saying that, but like during the regular season. But there was like a Thanksgiving family thing. But that being said, if it was like playoffs, I would have made it work. There would have been some maybe disappointed family members or something, but I would have been there.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
it's-
maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it is because I do think once more, guys. Don't get me wrong. I think Cats is awesome. Love the energy and love the vibes, but I just feel like we have a good group of casters, and unlike the GSL, where they are the only 2 casters that are currently in Korea to cast StarCraft, I love the fact that we are rotating and you hear some different takes. I find it crazy, and I feel that this is honestly on DreamHack. It's obviously not on Cats, because if they ask him to work, he just says yes, it's very normal. But I find it crazy that DreamHack didn't make a little more effort in trying to get some sort of rotation going for the final week, or am I the crazy one here, Wardi?
No, I think it's just almost like so many people are like somehow like they make it so complicated when it doesn't need to be, right? Like, for example, like I remember like the season before last, I was like, hey, I can't do like this one day. Like, can I swap with someone? And like that should be the simplest thing ever because there's so many days. Like literally any other day is fine. You can ask anyone, can you swap any of your days with Wardy, right? And they just took the day off me, and they didn't tell me or anything. Like there was the day before, and I was like, "All right, see you tomorrow." And our producer was like, "You're not on tomorrow." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're not on tomorrow." And they just took my day off me because I said, "Oh, can I swap days?" But then they never mentioned anything again, so I just sort of assumed that I would be able to like. I was just like, I made it work, right? Like I cleared my plans, I just made it work. I was like, "Oh, it's not the end of the world." So like, I just feel like it's like so many people are like mix and matching, like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this part of the schedule," and it just feels like it all falls apart. Like if one person just writes the schedule down and just like looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, maybe we could put Cats one on a couple more times in the first week and push
Yeah.
some people around," and like, I feel like we've had like, and there's no offense to Fear Dragon, but I think Fear Dragon casted like every finals for like the entire
And he
year.
doesn't even want to do the
He
final
doesn't want
day,
to do
by the
it.
way.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there. Like, I mean, they were doing it with you as well, right? They put you on for final day every time. You just said, "No, man. Like, let me watch
Yeah.
the finals for once." Like, it's silly. So I just feel like it should be just so easy to rotate and mix and match. Like, I mean, this time I had a schedule conflict. I didn't even ask DreamHack. I actually just messaged Zombie Group. I was like, "Hey, can we swap a day?" Because it just didn't. It felt like more of a headache to go to the official people than to just do it ourselves, right? And that obviously works because we're friends as well. But I
Mhm.
just don't understand how it can be so difficult. I think it could just be improved, right? Like if everyone has a day in the playoffs instead of like ZG, I know did like every day second week, so she was just like, they're long days, they're tiring,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she's
It's too
hosting, but
much
you're
as
just
well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense, and it wasn't her schedule that held her back from that as well. Like yeah, it just feels like it's a little bit too locked in. Like they get an idea, they lock it in. It just feels like they're not wanting to move it a bit, but hopefully this isn't an issue again because we don't have to go through this kind of format again. Is the hope, I would
Same,
imagine.
yeah, I know. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just said, like, I casted 2 days in the final week, and they were kind of in the beginning, which I like because, as Mana predicted in his video, the lower bracket, all the Protosses, I was like, all right, I'm going to cast some Protos, guys. This is going to be good. I didn't think that Showtime was going to have such a monstrous run, but it's all good, I had fun. I was like, oh, cats. And then I was like, okay, I'm casting with cats again. I was like, no biggie, because I do like casting with cats. Then, like, the next day, I'm like, oh, man, like, I actually really need a day off because I've had so many long days in a row. I obviously always have poker on Tuesday for myself. I've got Monday, we've got the weekly. So I'm like, I'm ready to watch the Dream. I was like, wow, Cats is on again. Next morning, I wake up, Dream is like, Cats again. Final day, Cats. I was like, oh, my God, they put Cats on every day. Like, craziness to me. Are those things you pay attention to, Reynor, or you just don't care at all?
I mean, I did question myself why Cats was on every day. I think I thought that production just liked these jokes or something. But yeah, I obviously don't know what is going on behind the scenes and what you guys are, dealing with and everything. So I can't really go into too much detail. Obviously, I can make myself an idea, but maybe someone doesn't want to cast and the other guy has issues and some scheduling issues and stuff. And but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't go into too much detail because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I did question myself that.
I mean, I think overall it was fun, but like if it would ever come to this scenario again where we do have something that goes on for a long time again online and somehow, some way, which clearly is not the case because Steadfast was available, I wouldn't have minded doing one more day in the final week if that's the way it was supposed to be, or Wardi casting a little bit. But I feel like at that point, why don't we ring Horstem or Loco or Lambo and be like, hey guys, you want to make like a one-off appearance, even if it's playoffs, even if it's like not the final day maybe, but like right before, anything before the final day, I'd be like, that's awesome. Just anything to give us a slightly different vibe than the same caster for 6 very long days. Like, this is also not that someone is casting a best of 3 or a best of 5 and that's it. No, it's like 6 best of 5s in a row. You're listening to the same guy cast 36 best of 5s. I mean, that sounds ridiculous. Like, even when you just put it like that, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, it was fun. Obviously, season finals coming up. That will happen in 2 weeks. But you know what the best thing about all of this ending? It's not that we can stream again, Wardi. It's not that you can run your own tournaments. Is that we can finally say goodbye to Oxide, Romanticide, and all this fucking nonsense that we've been staring at for a year and a half. Because we've got new maps. Maybe a few too many at the moment. We don't really know what's happening. Turns out that updating a map pool is really hard, but we're going to focus on the positive. The positive is we've got new maps. Steadfast, your first thoughts, because I know you've already ran a little tournament. You've been watching some games. How happy are you? Scale 1 to 10. Any maps you're in love with?
Like 10 billion. I'm so happy we have new maps. First things first, I'm a Zerg player, so I'm happy to get some Imba Zerg maps. I'm looking really forward to
okay, let's not push it that fast. We need the propaganda on point. The terrorists are gonna cry, so let's not mention the maps being stronger or anything. Let's just keep it down, yeah?
Sorry, yeah, this isn't live, right? We can do a take 2, right? Yeah, so the maps, they're going to be a little bit tough here for Zerg. I've noticed there's some weird bugs, and like trying to, spread creep is a little weird. I think there's some liberator spots that are broken. I don't know, my Z key got jammed too, so yeah, we'll see. No, these maps look really good. Like, it is, for one, I mean, we've been stuck on the same map pool. We don't need to talk about it at length, but like, it's been so long, guys. Like, it has been so freaking long. So for us to have something new is, God, it feels like when I wasn't expecting like a blood transfusion, like I was just like shriveling up and like about to die. Like suddenly, like, like just like a doctor comes in and is like, here you go, man. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I thought I was just going to like have to crawl around for the rest of my life. Just, it feels like I've gotten almost a new life. Literally, like it's crazy how different it is, and for it to be like 5 new maps is really nice. The actual maps themselves, there are some issues with them, and I don't want to like take it away, but it's a little bit like unfortunate because we still have the ladder edition maps, which are different from the already fixed maps that the map makers made. So there's still some work to be done.
Can't be choosy, okay, guys?
Literally,
let's not push it too much. We don't want them to remove the maps again.
If we got 8 maps instead of 7, if there are a couple things wrong,
it's all good. We'll just close one of our eyes. It's all good, guys. No worries.
I'll just let Reynor flip my contact lenses around again. I won't even notice, guys. But no, I know what you're saying, Steadfast, and obviously this is all silly, guys. But this is the main reason why I also moved a little bit away from doing a party show talking about wishes for the game for 2 hours, because we should just be happy with what we get. I did always believe that we were going to get new maps. This is something I knew was going to happen. Not because I have any contact, but that's just, this is like when you go for the full 14-year-old girl on Instagram. Hope is the last thing that leaves your body before you die. And I was like, I know, deep down inside, we're going to get new maps. I still believe in. They're finally here. And I got to say, after running a tournament on Monday, I'm excited, guys. They look pretty fucking good to me. Wardi, your initial thoughts?
I can't believe Pride of Altaris made it in just because it's on the screen. This map is gonna bore the death out of people. I'm just gonna say
Really?
it. Yes, this is the longest rush distance we've ever had in a StarCraft map. It's 5 seconds longer than 2K atmospheres, for example. Not
Okay.
just that, it has 4 layers. So you have like high ground into your 3rd and 4th base, then your natural, then your main. So that's like new in ladder, and that's a cool feature.
Yeah.
But this is like, hey, I'm just gonna make it super defensive, so it's long, and you can't actually attack into basically 5 bases. Then there's a gold base that has 8 gold patches. So it's not a
Nice.
6 patch gold, it's an 8 patch gold. This map is like Skytoss City. If Zerg's on vetoing a ZVP, I'm gonna veto the match and go to a different one. I'm just a little bit worried that this map's like a little bit too all-out macro. Like it's almost like you take Romanticide and you amp it up, right? And I think it's fine to have like a map like this in the map pool. But I
Yeah.
actually think there's another map that kind of replaces Romanticide already. So I'm kind of worried that there's 2. And I think this map is like really like beyond macro. Like because you can see the 3rd and the 4th, right? They just like protect the natural. It's
Yeah.
all up a ramp. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
after the final of the when we played this map in the final of the
And
Rotti
Reynor,
Wardi
yeah.
Cup on the Monday night, the first thing that Clem wrote on Berlingrad was laughing my ass off, and I didn't really know what he meant. But Clem just entered Bina chat, and all he said was LMAO, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I mean, Reynor, you tried to get something out of him, but I don't think he said a whole lot, right?
Nah, yeah, because I told him he's a noob, so I was up 2-0, so I don't think he should have responded with too much. But yeah, I think
What
it
are
was
your
because of
what?
the map, obviously.
Okay, are you're listening to what Wardi just said about this map? Do you agree? Do you share the sentiments, or are you be like, well,
I mean,
it's not Oxide, so it's okay?
as long as we only play it in TVC, this map is fine for me. Like, I'm obviously gonna veto this first thing in the morning in PVZ. This looks kind of unplayable. I think I would lose to my grandma if she was playing TOS on this map, but that's another story. And yeah, TVZ obviously looks very balanced. Like it looks just like a good map for TVZ, honestly. Like if I had to imagine a perfectly balanced map for TVZ, this would be it.
So you think this is going to be the first veto of the Terrans? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I think Terrans are gonna have a really tough choice on their hands, to be honest.
Steadfast again. What the fuck, man? Just chill it down. Let the maps play out. Let the Terrans cry. It's always gonna be the same. Just we don't do
All right.
anything. Yeah, the Terrans kill themselves usually.
Guys, excitement for new maps was here. It's a little bit lower right now. Let's raise it up a little bit again. And let's take a look at the next one. Glittering Ashes. You know, at first I wasn't totally sure about the map name. It just said Glittering AS, and I was like, Glittering Ass? Like, are we entering the strip club? But it's Glittering Ash. Okay, I like it. Wardi, you a little more. Is this the other Romanticide in your mind?
Yes, this is the other super defendable map because again, just obviously it's not got multiple layers, but everything is a high ground, and it's also long. It's like a second shorter than Pride. I was just genuinely surprised. I don't think like having one of these maps in is bad. I just think it's kind of crazy to have 2. That's all because then you're like guaranteed to see one in a best of 5 pretty much, and I feel like that's pretty tough. This is being played a lot in best of 3s at the moment though, so maybe people don't mind it. I think there's some positions you can take that are all right. I just wonder if once they get figured out, this becomes like the next sort of map you don't want to play as well. If you don't want the long game, you know. It's
Steadfast, I
pretty.
know you've already
Cool.
been casting a fair amount of games on these new maps. Do you echo the sentiments of Wardi?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I've had enough of Romanticide for a while, so you know, like as long as you change the tile set and change the overall design, I can convince myself it's a different setup. Like I can pretend that it's fake. Looking at Glittering Asses though, it is a pretty good map for 4-gate Blink Stalkers. It's going to be really difficult to deal with. Like the size of that main base is absolutely gigantic. Like it's huge. And there's no place for Terran to really set up with like a tank push towards like a 3rd or 4th base. So it's going to be really tough. But that being said, I feel like in TVZ, like we're going to see some really good, like Terran's just going to set up in certain chokes. Honestly, this map is just choke city. Like it's kind of nuts that we have a map with this many bases and this many like quote unquote free bases that has so many chokes on it. Like, it honestly felt like they were like, all right, what's imbalanced for every race? And they were like, yeah, let's put like 6 of those features in. And it was just like, so everyone will hate it? Yes, everyone will hate this map. And they're like, is that a good idea? And they're like, why wouldn't it be? Have you ever been to our StarCraft? They hate the game there. It's, of course we're going to put this in. Like, it just seems like there's going to be a lot of frustrating aspects to the game, but it does mean that there's just a lot of strategic options. Sorry, go on.
Wardi, over or under 2 times of Nick and Dan casting this map and referring to a tasteless secret hallway?
On the bottom right and top left.
Yeah, that's a tasteless secret
Hey,
hallway if I've ever seen one.
You're not getting good odds on that, mate. It's just not.
I mean, the thing is, if Nick doesn't see a game that actually goes there, he's not aware of it. Like, there actually needs to be a unit there for him to talk about the tasteless secret hallway. Let's be real.
I actually think you're never gonna see on this part of the map. It has to be like we'll go through another like 3 seasons of DreamHack and we'll be like, wait, there's a map in the corner. What? I actually want to say something about this map though that's kind of cool, and this hasn't been done before. Is that this wasn't in the TLMC finalists, right? So TLMC is like 16 maps make the finalists, and they're the ones we play the tournament on that people probably have seen, and they're the ones people vote on. But
people get angry over.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But ESL really put like a lot of work in, apparently. I was really under the impression until I saw the map pool that ESL put a lot of work into like picking this map pool, because they really went past all of the like TLMC submissions. So not just like the ones that made top 16, they looked through like 50 maps. They didn't look like the ones that like really got downvoted a lot, but they looked through a lot of maps because they really wanted to make a map pool that was like well-rounded. It felt good, like pick the maps that were really good. So it's kind of a first that this is a map that goes to the ladder that wasn't actually top 16 in TLMC. I don't know how they picked this map out of all of them. But this is the same with Glitter and Ash and Hardwire. So actually only 3 of the maps were in the TLMC, which is kind of interesting. I like the approach. I don't necessarily know if I agree with the map necessarily, but I think the idea of actually not just limiting us to the top 16 of TLMC is okay. They put a lot of thought into it. Like, they asked a lot of people about maps. So that's why I'm mostly surprised that made it in, actually. It did seem like
then talking about a smaller map, Hardwire. I actually saw Reynor and Lambo play a game on this one. I think this one is a bit more Terran friendly. Can we all agree to that, or is it still?
This looks very broken for Terran. Not gonna lie.
Why
like,
is that, Reynor?
Small. The 4th base is very far away. Like even that 4th base, I'm pointing at it, but you can see obviously because I'm dumb as a rock. But the 4th base. Below the triangle 3rd base it would be. So that 4th base is just, I think it's possible to defend. Like you can just drop into the main or place a tank there, and I think looks very good for Terran.
Nice though. I feel like we don't see this color very often, guys. Or am I crazy?
It's an awesome color, right? I love how this map looks. Hopefully they fix this one though. Like, if you're running a tournament, run the TLMC version, because you can drop 2 tanks on the Reaper ledge. So definitely play the TLMC fixed version if you're in a tournament. If you're on ladder, you play Terran. It's going to be fun. You go drop your tanks and have a good time.
So 2 tanks, how many Marines is it? Like 10?
Oh, you can like double drop on there. You can,
really?
you want more on the ledge.
But Reynor, just make queens, man. 15 queens for a double drop. Yeah, looks fun.
No, it's a real "this is Sparta" moment, by the way, guys. If there are like 60 Marines standing on that ledge and then there's like 1 million queens below, that could be cool.
No, Kevin, that's not how cool things are. That's not a cool thing. Not gonna lie, doesn't seem fun to me.
Steadfast, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just looking forward to this being. So what this is a direct buff to nice people, so because, and this is cool that Blizzard did this. This was definitely intentional, totally not like an absolute fuck up on their end. This was really cool because now if you want to get proper practice on maps, you actually have to be nice to people online and be able to get customs with them. So if you're just like a real piece of shit and people just don't like you, you're not going to be able to practice the real maps. So you're just gonna be absolutely screwed.
You know, I do think a tank ledge defensively would be really cool. Like, if they could find a way to not make it broken offensively, like a defensive tank you can put on like a high ground behind a third to like mix the map up a bit. That'd be cool. If only it didn't like hit the entire main phase. Reynor's like, no, I know you just want to
No,
run wings and
Wardi,
then just
no,
stay.
yeah, no, please.
But
I'm totally
how
fine with
broken
this
is it
map.
really, guys? Like, how often can you just drop 2 tanks there and they also have enough?
Okay,
That's like,
so
It's not about the tanks. It's about the marine drop. Like the double medivac. You need fucking 10 queens to kill 60 marines. Are you kidding me? Like imagine just 3 marines shooting over there. You have link bailing. You can't do anything. And you also can't stop the medivacs from dropping there unless you have 10 queens under it. Like,
So-
I mean, you
submarine
can
had
pick up
this-
a spore. Sorry, Wardi, but you can like basically get a dropaloid, put in 2 drones, unload them on the ledge, and build spines and spores there.
like what are you?
Actually,
I'm not-
unironically, a great idea. Like that's so good.
shut up. This is some high level suggestions. This is like the diamond followers write me on Facebook. They're like, "Hey, Reynor, you want some coaching? I've seen. I think this strategy, the new bailing borrow at 3 minutes, is gonna completely destroy the meta." I'm like, sure, buddy, give it to me.
Well,
Yeah, don't
what
tell
sounds
don't tell
better?
B about that. He'll win a Russian tournament with it. He'll figure something out.
But Reynor,
I
what
will
sounds
say
better though? Sorry, Steadfast, but I just want one more
Yep,
time.
yep.
Imagine spending 2 drones on a spine and a spore, or
Stop
dealing with
it.
16 marines on the ledge.
But that's not. I'm not supposed to deal 60 marines shooting at my fort base from a non-attackable position. Like that's not normal, Kevin. You know that.
But it's not non-attackable if it's undroppable in the first place.
I don't agree with this.
Okay, go on, Steadfast.
Well, I think I actually have another solution there. You just find something that's the exact size of the ledge, and you just leave it there. So there's no room for the Marines to drop. They're just it might be like, I don't know, 2 Ultralisks, and that's
just drop an ultra, yeah.
that's a little bit of supply, I know, but it's fine. It's only 1,000 resources.
This I can't believe this feels like chatting with Twitch chat. It's actually the same. I can't believe it.
Lurkers hold position, guys. You want them to drop on the ledge. Perfect line. Everything is lined up. I think we've got a winner. All right. I see nothing wrong with Hardwire the way it currently is. Don't play the other edition, guys. Just go for this one. But yeah, I think we're all excited for this map, even though it's a bit more playable for Terrans. Zergs may struggle a bit more. But looking at this entire map pool, I don't think the Zergies can really complain. It's a whole lot better than the previous one, that's for sure. Let's take a look at 2 of the other maps then, either Curious Minds or, yeah, there we go. Let's do Curious Minds. This map, I looked at it, and my first impression was this, I feel like I'm back in Wings of Liberty, because it's so wide open.
Sorry.
Did you have the same feeling, Wardi?
It is super wide open. It's kind of refreshing though, because it is super open, but it's small, right? And because it's small, you can kind of get to the chokes realistically. This map actually gave us so many good games in TLMC, and this is one of the maps which I thought was going to be like not make it to the ladder because everyone's going to complain about it, but it did. And I'm really excited because when Beckett was in TLMC, it gave us terrible maps. Like the games just weren't good. But this actually like consistently has given us really good games, and even once it's gone live, and I think it's a real good match of like it's small, so it makes up for how open it is. I don't know. This was actually my favorite map of the TLMC. Kind of looking aside from maybe some major issues that maybe get figured out as the map lives a bit. Just it was really entertaining. It was a breath of fresh air. It worked well. It was just really fun to watch. So yeah, I'm really glad to see this one. I think it'll be fun to see how people figure it out over time.
It's pretty as well, right, Steadfast?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It reminds you just a little bit of Romanticide without being the size of Romanticide and as turtley as it. And it's also going to be nice too because now we actually have a map where we'll actually see Protoss players not go double Stargate, because if they do it, they'll just lose. They'll just die straight up to a Queen Walk.
That's what you think.
No, I think this is going to be a really strong map for Queen Walks. I think the design of it overall is very cool. I like that there's these kind of like not quite, but sort of like trappy bases in the opposite corners, like the top right and bottom left. Like if you go to that location and you like commit your army to that location, and you're not like prepared with a proper escape route, you're just gonna lose everything. And that's something we don't have enough of. I think they tried to do it on Jagannatha, but it just it just didn't work out, and it just ended up being like a spot where you just easily set up tanks or whatever siege units on the low ground, and like you can easily push into it. This one, the base is just a little bit further back, and there's a little bit more room to maneuver. So I love designs like that. I look forward to the rocks in the middle of the map like never getting taken down, because like you're just not going to have the chance, it feels like, unless you just want to do like a really fast push. But I don't know. I look at this map, and this is like how a small map to me is supposed to be designed.
And then we've got one more. I fully agree with everything you said there, mate. Berlingrad. Reynor, your first impressions of Berlingrad?
Yeah. Actually, I don't mind this map. It's a lot fun to play. It's a lot of fun to play. It's different graphics, which is very refreshing to see. And it reminds me a bit of Kairos, I think was the name, right?
Yeah,
It does
Kairos
look a bit
Junction.
like Kairos.
Mhm.
And
Like-
but yeah, it looks like a fun map. Honestly, I like the new maps a lot because they have this good contrast. Like they're big, but they have a lot of chokes. They're small, but they're very open. So it's not just one very good map for this race or one very good map for the other race. Like for example, Glittering Ass is very big, but it's also choky. So you don't know which race is gonna benefit from it the most. And yeah, it's very good to see. And Berlingrad is a good example of this as well. Like the map is kind of big, but I see a lot of spots very good for Terran, and yeah, just looking forward to playing this map a lot. It was a lot of
How
fun when I played it.
innocent was this map maker that named his map Glittering Ash? And it's like, there's no way, right? There's no way that this is like, wow, people are gonna make ass jokes, like actually like all strip club jokes. This has to be on purpose, right, guys?
Well, all I know is that I have an idea for my newest emote. Is it's just gonna be a peach with like glitter all over it, and I'm copywriting that now.
Glittering
that's-
ashes.
Glittering Ash.
Oh, I do agree with what you said, by the way, Reynor, with the Berlingrad, the tile set. It looks very nice. It's happy. It's green. I'm actually kind of sad. Naruto made me play a couple test games on different maps, and I don't know what the name of this other map was, but it was like green and purple. Apparently, it was too big, according to Naruto, and every game was going to take like 5 years on it. But I actually really liked it too, because I loaded into the game, and it just made me happy. And looking at Berlingrad also kind of makes me happy, but I really hate map pools in general that are too grim. StarCraft 2 players are always angry and upset and lonely, frustrated with the world. We don't need 7 dark maps. This is really not good for our mindset, in my opinion. So some happy colors, I think, is more than welcome.
Was it Yamatai?
I'll look at
played one?
Naruto's message real quick. Wardi, why don't you go ahead and tell me how much you like Berlingrad?
I like Berlingrad. I got to cast in TLMC, so a lot of my thoughts come from that because
Mhm.
I casted a lot of games then. Berlingrad kind of flew under my radar, which kind of just meant to me it was like a good map, like it wasn't like, oh my god, there's this about it or that about it. It was just good. Like it gave us some good games. Some games were shorter, some games were longer. It's just like all around good. So to me, it's almost like somewhat more of the standard map that we're gonna have. So yeah, I like it. It's been fun so far. It's been pretty neat.
I think it was either Yamatai or Enchanted or something.
Oh,
that-
Enchanted Isle.
Yeah. Is that possible?
Yeah, that map is massive.
But so
Absolutely.
pretty though. It made me
It's
happy.
really pretty, but Yamatai actually was going to be in the ladder, but they couldn't
Yeah.
actually remove enough of the doodads and enough of the accessories on it to actually make it playable for like Blizzard's acceptable level of playable for like people who have potato PCs. So they actually for Yamatai was actually a really interesting map, super pretty. And even though they removed, I think 90% of like the aesthetics on it, it was
Yeah.
still like too aesthetically like crazy. So rip Yamatai, you killed yourself.
All right. Well, if you guys are excited to see these new maps in action, we've got great news tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon for the Europeans, and I guess very early morning for the Americans. The Stay at Homestory Cup number 3 goes live. This should hopefully be the final Stay at Homestory Cup ever, which means it's kind of a hybrid between a regular Homestory Cup and a Stay at Homestory Cup. Obviously, the first Stay at Homestory Cup was honestly the most depressing tournament I've ever casted, even though it was a lot of fun. It was me standing in the studio by myself for 3 days straight. My feet were killing me. It was, honestly, it was the closest thing to slavery that I think I will ever endure. I got a Twix, that's about it, but it was a lot of fun. I'm just teasing the guys from Tech TV. Stay at Homestory Cup 2 was obviously a lot better already because, well, it's number 4 already. But I think number 2 and number 3 we had Loco, or at least for number 3, Loco was there. And this time I will be there again with Loco, but Wardi, you will also be covering a lot of the games online. And we've got quite some players making it to the event. And on top of that, the doors will also be opened for the public. You guys can still buy tickets. Just take a look at social media of Tech TV. There is an Eventbrite page link. You click on it, you can get your tickets. But we've got a lot of groups. We've got a beautiful graphic. These are all going to be played on the new maps, of course. Other than, by the way, we kept Blackburn and 2K. I think we're all okay with that, right? 2K is obviously no-brainer. We had to keep that one because it's the best. Blackburn, okay? Yes, no? Thumbs up?
I have something to say about Blackburn.
Say it.
I'm not sure if it's family friendly though.
Doesn't matter, say it.
Fuck that map. What the fuck? It's so bad. Jesus Christ. That's
Why?
it.
Why? It's
Blackburn?
Yeah.
I've lost my mind in so many games in TVZ on that map. It's actually unplayable. But you know what? Lightshade is very good for Zerg, right? I used to be. Now the map is dead. But Lightshade was very good for Zerg, and Blackburn was very bad for Zerg. But I actually think I have a higher ratio on Blackburn than I do on Lightshade. I don't know why. Lightshade was just terrible for me, but Blackburn was actually a super shit map. I actually can't believe it. That made it into the map pool, and it's still there.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's it.
don't get, by the way, guys? Whenever we do keep a map, like we're apparently supposed to update 2K. I don't know if that actually has happened already, a bit or not. But like, why don't we change Blackburn a little bit so it can still be Blackburn, but maybe we can get rid of some of these slow zones or turn the slow zones into fast zones for all I care. But I actually get kind of triggered by slow zones, and I'm very happy that the new maps don't have any of them, as far as I know, unless I've missed something. But slow zones are they're not that cool, guys. Or am I the only one?
Slow zones suck. That's why they changed it to acceleration zones, like in TLMC when they pushed it. Because acceleration zones are fun, because it's fun to see your units go faster, right? But it's
Not
freaking
really.
annoying to see your units go slow. Well, I mean, you'll complain about anything, but no, I mean, slow zones suck. Like, it's not fun. It's like, oh, look, if you micro your SCV properly, it will go through the middle of the map correct. Like, who cares? Just like, it
Yeah.
makes no difference.
And I mean, I've
That's about
I've never
fast
heard
zones.
Jonas say
Yeah.
how slow are those balls. Like, he doesn't care about how slow they are, how fast they are. That's when Sarah gets excited, and that's when we all get a bit excited. Anyway, let's go back to the Stay at Homestory Cup. We have
Well,
8 groups. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just something very, very important, and it works perfectly. And this is a call to action for map makers. We need to see more slides. We need to see
Yes.
slides where, and I'm memeing, but also unironically, they're the most fun you will ever have on a map. Going one direction, your units go like 3 times the speed. Going the other direction, they just don't. They just don't go the other way. It's so much fun, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Please make slides.
I agree with you. I actually had a lot of fun playing in that one Homestory Cup map that they made in tribute to Homestory Cup 20, the one in Tropical Islands. I had so much fun seeing Zealots and Novas go down the slides ultra fast. Units trying to get up the slide. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, let's take a look at these groups. Reynor, let's start off with your group, because I actually think you're playing first group tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I hope for you that my car works properly. Otherwise, you're going to be late. It's going to be a forfeit loss. But talk to
It's
me
okay,
about
I'm
your
gonna
group.
ask for damage, the damage price in return. But yeah, Bjan, Lord, Neeb. Obviously, I'm playing against Bjan, which is very good, but Lord is just on another level. Like number 3 is obviously better than number 6 over here, and Neeb, as I said, I'm not sure about Neeb, but I know his late game is always gonna be scary. But yeah, looking forward to these matches. Yeah, I'm excited, honestly. I think I play Neeb first. And yeah, I'm quite confident in my PVZ at the moment. But yeah, a lot of fun, I think.
I gotta say, that's a tough group, man. Imagine if you don't get out, you're gonna have to be there for 3 more days. You're gonna be okay?
Oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna cry in a corner. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be my worst nightmare ever. Just staying in Krefeld with the boys. Worst case scenario, I'll have a couple of beers and forget about it.
While you're looking at these 8 groups, which groups are you casting tomorrow? I think you already know that, correct?
Yeah, I'm BDF. I think it's organized so you do ACE, I do
Yeah.
BDF, and then GNH is like if somehow if somehow you can fit four groups into a day, we do those. So that's the general plan. So I do BDF. I think F's the best or most interesting. That's why we put it last to kind of build up the hype a little bit. I think they're all fun though. You know, Hero Marine group, you never know what Bly's going to bring. It sounds really good. I think the Bunny DRG Thermal Skillers games are going to be exciting again, like a set of players where if you kind of combo any 2 players out of Group B, I just, I wouldn't be surprised to be like, oh yeah, those 2 advanced, I can see it, right? So yeah, lots of fun groups.
Yeah, and Bly is actually in because Naruto contacted me a while ago and he said I could have 3 invites. I was like, well, who's invited? He's like, I don't know yet. I was like, how can I possibly invite 3 players if you don't tell me who's going to be in? So then he gave me a short list of like the initial 12. I was like, all right, I'll go for the Eastern Europeans. And I mostly went for Bly because I felt really sad because I know how hard he works and he didn't qualify for the DreamHack Masters winter. And I don't think he would have gone super deep in the playoffs or anything. But Bly at least always gives us entertainment. And I wanted to give him another platform to just show us some craziness and maybe cause some crazy upsets and make it out of this Group D here. It's not going to be easy for him, but it could be fun. Steadfast, looking at these groups, I'm sure you're going to be joining me or Loco at least a couple of times over the next few days because I know that you can't go a day without casting StarCraft 3. Is there anything that stands out for you, mate?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually looking at these groups, it just makes me itchy because I'm so ready. Like they just look all so good. I'm really excited about Trap Solar in Group H. I think that's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see what Rogue can do here. He's one of those players that, he always feels like it always feels like when he's not on, it feels like he just woke up. Like his play as a player is that he just woke up. And you're like, man, Rogue, what happened? And then when he's on, he is on. And I'm excited. Honestly, there's a lot of Koreans that are coming back here that I'm just really, really excited to see. And then, of course, I was mentioning before, a lot of the European players, a lot of the top Europeans are now starting to approach matches in a more strategic way. And I'm just the whole damn tournament looks unreal. And I'm excited to see, this newcomer Spirit to see how he can do against some of the more established European players. Sorry, I had to take the low-hanging fruit there.
It's all good. Obviously, I am excited for the tournament. I look at these groups and I'm like, all right, more awesome StarCraft. It's going to be a couple of long days. I obviously hope for you, Wardi, that the day is going to be awesome on your own stream after all these weeks of DreamHack. But I have to admit, I'm mostly excited to just meet a couple of the nerds again, man. It's been a long time. I know for, at least this is what Silvana told me a couple of days ago, so I assume this list has not changed, that Lambo will be on location, Elisa will be there, Reynor, if I allow him to drive with me, otherwise he's going to have a pretty tough time getting to Krefeld. But
Are you gonna allow me to drive your car though?
absolutely not, but yeah, if you promise to not kick any shaving bottles off the stairs at 5 a.m. tomorrow, then I will let you ride on the back seat. No shotgun for you. But we've got Drogo coming, Big Gabe, Kalazur, Horstem if he is fit to go. Loco will be there, and I will be there. So maybe there will be another random player showing up. I don't know, but I think that's honestly kind of the best thing, guys. We're gonna have some players on the couch again. We're going to have some Homestory Cup memes. I'm sure that Dennis is going to try to make us all drink outrageous amounts of alcohol. It's going to be good, right? It's not totally the same, but hopefully it can give everyone just a big smile on their face again
It's a
watching the
start.
tournament. Yeah.
Are you going to be
Yeah,
okay, Rotti? Not casting 12 hours with only your Twix? I really thought that was the stay-at-home Story Cup experience.
Well, yes, the first one, that was honestly brutal, man. The second one, I think it already got a bit better, because I think Loco already
Give you
joined for
Twix and a
that.
Snickers.
Yeah, and the third one was okay, but the first one was actually ridiculous, because back then the rules were very strict. This was like pandemic highlight, no one was allowed to travel to Germany, and I drove across the border, and I was like, Anyone here, guys? Anyone needs proof of no, nothing? No, nobody cared. But I walked in there and it was like the most dead and quiet and empty I've ever seen the Take TV studios. And then it's just like, yeah, we've got very strict rules at the moment. So basically, you, me, Silvano, and then like one other guy. I was like, that's cool, but I was like what's gonna happen if I like need a break or something? They're like, no, you're fine, right? I was like, I guess I'm fine.
What are those?
No, those days were long, and I was standing, and they were sitting, and they were with two of them, and I was alone. And at one point, I feel like almost became the dedicated observer after like hour number 10. And I was like, please get like, I don't know, get Harstem, get Kalazur, and get Bly. You know, people that just want to talk a lot all the time, like just please, so I can just be quiet. But no, I think it's gonna be totally easy. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm super excited to see everyone. And one more time, you guys at home, to quote Mr. Bitter, one of his finer quotes ever, if you live in the Germany area, make sure to take a look at the Stay at Homestory Cup. This event takes place in Krefeld. If you can't make it to Krefeld, then what you can always do is make sure you follow the action over at twitch.tv/TakeTV or twitch.tv/Wardi with 3 eyes. Still 3 eyes, right, Wardi?
Whereas I'm waiting for my Twitch manager to message me so I can change it, but you know, it seems like they disappeared, so rip.
You know, I had a very in-depth discussion with the Muslim actually the other day where we came to the conclusion that you have to lift your carrier painting behind you a little bit to put it at the same height as the Kerrigan and the ghost.
It doesn't look as good. You know,
I think it does if you remove the Wardi TV banner.
I know, because I tried them without the Wardi TV benefits. I tried everything. The problem is, it probably looks a bit better on stream, but it looks horrendous in person because there's just like a massive gap below. But I sit in front of it, right? So you don't see below it. But like, if you move it up, it looks really bad in person. I couldn't do it. So.
No. So there's a very easy solution. You just rotate it 90 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, carry is going up in the world, right?
Yeah, that's a Stomps carrier.
Yeah. If you rotate it towards the right, and it feels like it's taking off into space. Put a little
and then when
Elon
Protoss
Musk in
starts
the
losing
corner.
it, you rotate it the other direction for going down. That's perfect.
Actually, I always make it go down. Carriers always die. Right, Reynor?
Not gonna speak about this.
All right, but yeah, that's kind of it for Stay at Home Story Cup. It's obviously going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do our best. I know there is one or two other things that we definitely have to talk about. One thing I can kind of say, and this is always a bit annoying because there is nothing worse than us kind of hinting at something, but then we're not allowed to say. But this is what we are allowed to say, and I still want to share with everyone that watches the Pylon show either live or watches the VOD, is that there was a summit of Frost Giant over the last weekend, where they basically let us know what they're up to and how far along everything is. And that's all I can say. I can't say anything else, which is horrible. But the only thing I can say is that I am genuinely excited about everything I have seen. And I know that our producer has also been involved with it. I know he's very excited too. But yeah, it's horrible that I can't say anything more than that. But what I can say is that you guys have all the right reasons to be hopeful, because I believe the dudes over at Frost Giant are working on something majestic. Speaking of majestic, oh my goodness, is it happening? I think it is happening. We've got a very special guest joining us as well before we go ahead and hop into the Q&A part of the show. Unless you have something else you want to talk about, Cobra? Think Cobra. All right. He's not. So Cobra is now just going to try to get our special guest on, because we already mentioned the 17 other tournaments that are coming up. But there is one man that's also going to run another tournament, and that's coming up real soon. And I wanted to give him a chance to talk about it. It is Piggy. What's up, Piggy? Good morning, mate. How are you?
I am sleepy as all hell, but I can't believe the show's still going. I'm so happy. I never get to watch you guys live anymore now that we've got the Rotterdam Pylon show. Thanks for having me over, guys.
You are more than welcome, matey. We are getting towards the end, but we're not totally done yet. And obviously, I just want to give you the floor to talk about your upcoming craziness, because one subathon was simply not enough for Piggy. Piggy needs to do another one, but this time you're combining it with a big esports tournament as well. Talk to us.
Yeah, man. So yeah, the last subathon we did was like just insane. Obviously, we were like, oh, we'll do this subathon Twitch trend. That'll be cool, where people can control how long you sit in front of your computer, and maybe it'll even go for 24, or like maybe if people go crazy, it'll go for 48 hours.
Yeah, but come on, Pig. You knew it was gonna go longer than that, because basically, if I gave you $1, you'd be like, "All right, Roddy, I'm on for 17 more hours." Like you knew you were gonna be on for a while.
It was not that cheap, man. It was
Okay, I know it was
cheap.
not that cheap. I'm
It
exaggerating
was-
a little bit, but come on, you didn't think you were done within a day. I don't believe that.
Oh no,
Get out
for
of here.
legit. I was like, maybe there'll be a few people who really dig it, and maybe it'll go like a week. Was like kind of like the longest I thought it could possibly go. So 34 days like kind of ruined all of my expectations. But our biggest goal, which we technically didn't hit because we just kept stacking goals to keep it interesting, was let's run a tournament. And obviously we did so well out of it. We were like, okay, let's run this tournament anyway. And yeah, we were like, all right, how can we make a tournament interesting and also add all the dumb circus shit that Twitch likes? Because that's what Twitch viewers like. They like weird shit happening. So we're like, how do we get a tournament that we make as serious as possible, as fun as possible, and kind of blend that all together into one stupid thing? So yeah, we've basically got a tournament which is going to be pretty normal format. It's GSL format. It's going to be top 16 group stages, top 8 bracket, and it's going to be, okay, we got some pretty good players in there. The little guy who's on the call here, who's like pretty good at Zerg, I guess. We'll be playing a couple of other world champions, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm just actually bringing the groups up right now so I can actually read them, so I don't actually forget anyone that's in it as my computer tries to shut down on me. But we've got Dream, Cyril, Reynor. We've got Max Pax, Zest, Beyond, a bunch of other awesome people. As my computer's
Yeah, we've got
monitor is
we've
flashing.
got your groups up on our screens. Group
guys
A
have
is
got it
Cyril,
up?
Gumiho, Parting, Maxi Paxi. Group B is Clemmy, Laser, Trap, Bly. Group C, Zest, Lambo, Showtime, Beyond. And then Reynor, Dream, Solar, Zone. That's one hell of a stacked tournament, Piggy.
Yeah, I'm very happy that these guys have agreed to play. So big thanks to everyone for signing up. And basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing that every night. It's kind of not the best time zone, but we wanted to make sure basically it overlapped with no qualifiers. We've got qualifiers for Kubo, TSL, everything else coming up. So it's going to be pretty early morning in Europe, middle of the night in North America, kind of basically a normal GSL sort of time slot. So that's kind of when we're going to be live. And then we'll be rerunning it while I'm sleeping at night, because we are doing the stupid subathon mechanic again, where essentially support equals me being locked in it. It'll be capped at a week. So it won't turn into a month-long stream. And then the whole idea is, as we go, assuming the timer keeps going, no matter what, obviously the tournament happens, we're going to unlock a bunch of different circus events where we try to put pro gamers in situations where they basically have to do things pro gamers don't like doing. For instance, one of the events we're doing is going to be Twitch Plays
You're making
Gabe.
Reynor clean up.
That's bonus unlock content. It's a 6-hour Reynor washing dishes stream. So that's like premium.
God.
Right. I'll
Listen,
be
this
happy
guy's
if you...
talking shit, but I absolutely nailed the kitchen cleaning yesterday. Yeah. Like, he could lick the fucking thing. It's spotless, honestly. Like, I've never seen anything this clean. I've completely destroyed the kitchen cleaning yesterday.
He's derailing your subject, Piggy. Go on. Sorry. Mate.
No, I love it. We're doing Twitch Plays Gabe. So we've got Hero Marine's going to be hopping on for a few hours, and basically we're going to let Twitch chat control his strategies. So it's going to be...
hate that.
That's the point. I see that it's a win-win either way. I'm kind of hoping for one of these two outcomes, but it's either Hero Marine's going to be really mad at people constantly telling him to do dumb shit that's going to lose him games, or he's going to show amazing adaptivity and he's going to, make Planetary Fortress Rush work 14 times in a row on the ladder. Because let's be real, that's all Twitch chat's going to ask for, because they're Twitch chat. So we've just got like a bunch of events like this. I've got a bunch of the really kind of creative, weirdo, hyper aggressive / cheesy players playing an 8-man Swiss tournament. Mio Micah, obviously a lot of people know the Vietnamese cheese lord. Rocker, famous from the NA ladder. We've got Reaper, who's a very, very high level Zerg cheeser. Grim Reaper, the dirtiest cannon rusher from the UK. Uko, who's a very weird Zerg player, Dolan, who's a very creative American Terran, a bunch of other players playing an 8-man tournament. So like basically none of those players plays anything even approaching a normal macro game. So I know it's going to be a complete shit show and just sparks flying in all of those games.
It sounds like a lot of fun, mate. And when is it? When is the starting date?
So we're starting on Monday. We've got a bunch of other circus shows, like a hidden tournament, other things every single day as soon as it starts going. So we're actually kicking off with Scarlet's going to be joining us for a holdout challenge. That's going to be Monday morning my time, which is, of course, Sunday, the 24th of October, this Sunday, kind of early afternoon.
That's when
or
Stay at
evening.
Homestory Cup is still going on for sure, 100%, right?
Yeah, basically, I think it'll be kind of like right around the time Homestory Cup finishes, we'll be kicking off with the holdout challenge. It should be, maybe there'll be a slight overlap, but it should be right around then. So if anyone, hasn't had enough StarCraft, wants a chance to play against Scarlet, see how long you can last, get over to that, and it should be awesome. So thank you, everyone, and check it out. I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff over the next few days and spamming it out on my channel. Because I just keep coming up with new stupid mods. We've got a bunch of streamers we're going to play like Real Scale mod, which is like every other mod, the most broken and terrible thing ever in StarCraft. I'm going to get a show match on Yoinkcraft going. Have you guys heard of Yoinkcraft?
No.
Tell us about it.
So it's a mod made by Avex. It is possibly the worst mod ever made in StarCraft. And he admits that. It's just StarCraft, except every unit has a duct, and it doesn't cost energy, and it's on autocast. So literally every seconds, units just like every fight is just both armies just trade places, and everything. You're just like, what is happening? I didn't cast. I just loaded up an AI game to see what it would look like because I was like, I remember this map being kind of funny. And you're just watching armies like abduct banelings into the middle of their marines and stuff. You're like, this is so stupid.
Can you rapid fire it? You could rapid fire it, right?
I think you can turn it off autocast and like rapid fire it and spam it. A lot of people just leave it on autocast and just let chaos ensue. So we'll see what techniques the players apply. Yeah.
Sounds amazing, Pig. I'm excited for it. Yeah, well, I was kind of joking about the Homestory Cup times, but German efficiency is not something they're very familiar with when it comes to take-to-view scheduling. It's always like, yeah, we're going to be done around 11, and then at 3:15 a.m. is like, all right, Parting has been awake for 85 hours, but he is ready to start his first game against Gumio right now. And I'm like, guys, what happened to that schedule? And then Take is like, yeah, we were kind of ahead, so we decided to sneak in another best of 3, but, that's kind of the beauty of a Homestory Cup event.
I expect and welcome it. I'm sure we'll be like swapping over and checking it out. Homestory Cup's going to be super sick. I love that we've got so many tournaments coming up as well, right? Because we've got the season finals coming up. I'm sure you guys have been talking about it, but now we've just got so many tournament qualifiers coming at once. So yeah, get wrecked off season, right? Reynor, hope you don't have a social life, Reynor.
I'm all good. Don't worry about it. No friends, just chilling in the house.
All right, Piggy. Well, obviously, wish you all the best, mate, with your crazy week, and I really appreciate you stopping by for a little bit. Do you want to hang out for the Q&A as we wrap this one up?
I think I have my breakfast just ready, but thank you very much.
Right.
I might hop back in if I can, but
It's okay, mate.
Need to take care of my basic hygiene. Thanks for letting me come and pimp it out. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
You're more than welcome. Good luck with it, Piggy, and maybe I'll see you even for 1 or 2 games at the Stay at Homestory Cup. That would be a lot of fun too, if that works out. Goodbye.
Fingers crossed.
All right, Cobra. I think that kind of does it then. Unless you want to also, obviously we're going to do the Q&A. But Cobra, do you want to say anything about all the stuff that you've been working on, or are your lips ultra sealed?
They're mostly sealed on most of the stuff. It's, just keep watching. I don't know.
Big smile on your face, though?
Yeah, big smile on my face. Very big. I don't have my camera
I think
turned on, but it's ear to ear. People can be excited about it.
That's good enough then. Do you have some questions for us?
Yeah, I'm pulling them up right now.
Well, hang on. we missed a very important tournament that
I
Oh,
was
so
actually
yes.
about to bring
two
it
of
up.
these
yeah,
players.
yeah.
One
Oh.
fucking tournament I win. You've been bringing up season finals for the fucking entire evening. I win one tournament, but we don't even mention it.
We almost got away with it, Roddy. We almost got away
I
with
was
it.
dying inside.
I knew there was one more thing. Well, two more things technically. Obviously, on Monday, ESL had maintenance, so they couldn't run the weekly. Normally, we kick the Pylon show off talking about the weeklies, but there were no weeklies this month or this Monday. They will be played somewhere in November. Apparently, even they have a hard time finding a good day for the weeklies to catch one up. But these days, almost per tradition, whenever there is no weekly, I DM Wardi. I'm like, Wardi, shall we run our own tournament? Because people want Monday night StarCraft, so we give them Monday night StarCraft.
At
And
4
it-
a.m., by the way. Like,
yeah, I know. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something, and people were like, "Hey, man, I was playing poker, I think." People were like, "Hey, are you gonna do a tournament tomorrow?" And at first, I didn't want to do it because during DreamHack, I really had the feeling of like, "Man, I'm just dead. Like I'm a zombie. I can't think. I can't speak." But then by the time Sunday came around, I was like, "Yeah, I gotta give the people what they want, and that's Monday night StarCraft." Well, he saw my message. He said, "Of course, mate. Let's do it. Let's play on some new maps as well." And boy, oh boy, what a tournament we had. You know what? I'll let Steadfast speak first because I saw you were hanging in the chat and I know it inspired you to do your own version a bit later, and we'll talk about that one soon. But what did you make of the Rotti Wardi Cup, the new maps, and the run of the Italian boy?
I mean, first of all, like, absolutely amazing that you guys were doing this. This is so cool. It would be so easy to just be like, oh man, yeah, we've casted StarCraft for the last 780 days in a row. Should we take a day off and be like, yeah, maybe we could, recoup a little bit? But you were like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna give the people what they want. So like, I don't think people appreciate how like busy both you and Wardi really are. So like, big ups there. But the actual games and the showing from the community and like Reynor in terms of like just absolutely turning it up made for some of the hypest stuff. Very cool. I honestly, I didn't get to watch as much of it as I wanted to. But it was, from what I saw, it got me even more amped about the new maps. And it was after like a while where we've kind of been not in a rut, but like where we've been stuck with this old map pool and like, yeah, like everyone's kind of run down. It's like amazing to see you guys just kickstart the community again. And like everyone's like, boom, like donating to increase the prize pool, making sure that, Reynor can afford his like 7th pair of Gucci frames. Like just really, really cool to see this this whole thing kick off. And yeah, just thank you from the community and also myself.
Yep. So the way it started is that I think I put $150 on the line. Wardi said he will do his own $150. So we had a base prize pool of $300, and then we took 50% of all the donations that came in to increase the prize pool. I think we ended up with a little over $1,800. Wardi, I had good games. I heard you had some absolute bangers.
yeah, we had great games. Yeah, the support was, just to quickly talk about, is insane. Like, obviously, we did the one. I say the first one, but it was number 2. The first one wasn't really as much of a crazy thing, but number 2 was obviously insane. Like, people just popped off. And I really I put a donation goal up on my channel. It's like, if we raise $300, we put 150 back in the prize pool, I make my money back. I'd be like, that'd be pretty cool, right? We get close to like a weekly prize pool. It is insane. Like, I announced it, I tweeted it. Someone DM'd me, they're like, hey, I've been watching your stuff lately. I'd love to just give you $200 for it. So then we had like $500, and then OSC gave us $100 and gave us some OSC points. And OSC is always cool, right?
Yeah, I
They do a
saw
lot.
that. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know. This is my own tournament. We're giving away OC points now, but I'm sure Wardi knows what he's doing. But
Yeah. It was just like, I mean, I think someone got a bounty. Basically, like if you're an underdog and you beat like a favorite, you get like $30 or something, So it's like a cool like reason to play as well. Anyways, yeah, and like O Gaming gave us a little bit. So we started like 650, we raised up to 1800. It's really sick. But yeah, the games are crazy. I mean, I got stuck, when you come out of a game and you like, oh, I'll just grab this game, and then that game never starts. I kind of got stuck, and then I ended up in this little TVZ section that's on the screen, which was pretty sick. I just uploaded Reynor Marine Lord to YouTube because that was a pretty entertaining first game. Thought our Italian boy was going down, but made it happen. Yeah, it was a good day of StarCraft. And you know what I really liked, and this might sound bad, but It was really nice not to have to slog through the first 2 hours of like the Open Cup, when the games are a bit slow, and then you finally get to the round of 32 or 16 where a couple, where the games get a bit more exciting. It felt like I finished the day fresh, so I appreciate that for a bit of a change.
I have to admit, I got a little bit of a heart attack when I don't know, casually casting some Marine Lord maybe or Christiana. I don't know what I was doing. People were like, hey, Rotti, Reynor is playing Calazor, he's down 0-1. I was like, oh my god, it's happening again. Now people are going to accuse me of throwing Reynor off the deep end again, and he can't win a game anymore. But that was pretty much the only map you lost in the entire tournament, wasn't it, mate? What the hell happened on the Monday night?
I think I played pretty good overall. Against Diego, the first map was actually me trying out the Cave Bob style, very famous, which is roaches into lurkers. But whenever I do that, I just absolutely get shit on by everyone. Doesn't matter who I play. So I think I'll never do that again. And yeah, just the rest of the games, I think I approach the games different in TVC. And I like them in new maps as well. But yeah, overall, I think I played a lot better Monday night than I did on DreamHack. That's for sure. I'm not really sure why. Might be the Sideland buff, but yeah, I hope I can keep this level up at least for TVC.
How much do you think the map pool had an impact on the results?
Well, honestly, surely a bit, but it's not necessarily because I think the maps are better for Zerg. It just new maps create a different kind of game. And yeah, I think it was even more fun to play on the new maps, and yeah, but they did matter a bit, but I think it was just me approaching the games different.
Okay. Even though the grand finals was a 4-0, it was obviously a remarkable 4-0 because Clem was on an 11 or 12 series win streak against Reynor. And I don't know, Steadfast and Wardi, if you guys have the same feeling, but whenever I cast Clem, I don't care. Unless Clem is playing against Maru, that's pretty much the only play that gives me a bad feeling. I don't care if Clem is down 0-1, 0-2, or even 3. I always feel the kid can bring it back. I just know that he can bring it back. So even when Reynor was up 3-0, I was still enjoying the hell of the final, especially because it kind of felt that Clem was going to win game 4. But is it just me or has that feeling, or do you guys share those sentiments?
Yeah, every time. That's why I predict Clem to win against Cyril when he's like down a game right in the finals of DreamHack and stuff. But you can never count Clem out. I really think like he takes one game and he just hits this momentum. He's just like, okay, let's go. I'm sick of losing to you, and he just wins. So yeah, I definitely think it's a shared sentiment. I just want to tap in and say, Reynor was down a game against Kelazur. He messaged me about this style, and I said, mate, I'm pretty sure it's a style for donkeys, and you're just a better player than that. And he went 11-0 after that, so I'd like to think it was a little bit of my words of wisdom,
Yeah, actually saved me. I was like, hey, Warding, can you fix my style? Because this is really not working. I was like, you need some more brain damage to play that style. And I was like, okay, time to...
This is a true story? This interaction happened?
Yeah, he didn't say brain damage, but yeah,
I said it's
that.
like a style for donkeys, classic player or something like that. Yeah.
I love it. All right, I don't want to keep you guys here forever, and I obviously have some very long days ahead of me too with the State Homestory Cup. But then let's talk a little bit about Steadfast 2 of course, because we're going to spread the love. We had the EU edition. Steadfast, you said we're ripping off the Rotti Wardi Cup. We're going to do the NA edition together with some drunk Canadian who's also a very passionate individual. Talk to me about your tourney real quick.
Well, as you can see by the name right there, it's an original idea. We came up with it on the fly, no external sources. We just kind of, put our heads together and came up with it. No, of course, we saw what you guys were doing. Actually, shout out to 2 people for this. Shout out to, first of all, obviously, some drunk Canadian for reaching out to me and being like, hey, dude, do you want to do this? We can get some more practice casting together because we're going to be doing King of Battles. He's flying me out to Vancouver for the B stream of that. So that's going to be a blast. That's happening in middle of November. I'm flying out November 17th to, I think, the 21st. So that's going to be happening that weekend.
Is that tournament happening at the exact same time as TSL qualifies then? It must be, right? Or...
Yes. I think so. I think everything is just happening at the same time now. Like it's just going to be like you
Not
could just
TSL
run
qualifiers. No.
Oh, no?
It happens No, that's not true. The qualifiers happen like kind of the same time as TSL qualifiers, but the tournament itself is just a week after our season finals.
Yeah, and then the week after that is when TSL starts.
TSL starts. Yeah. but then,
So okay.
yeah, that's
And then World Team League is everywhere in between, just like splattered around. Yeah.
And there's 15 days of a Chinese tournament that's going to be announced soon. That's that's also just everywhere. It's a beautiful sight if you look at my schedule. It's just lines and lines and lines of tournaments.
I mean, it's better than us whining about the fact we have no tournaments, right? Even though it's
I
going to be a bit crazy. And by the time Christmas comes around, I think we all can justify gaining a few Christmas pounds. I already gained them, by the way, but I
Yeah, me
digress. Anyway, Steadfast, tournament games, real quick. How much fun was it? Let's wrap it up because it's been a long weekend. I have a long weekend ahead of us. But yeah, Zest won. The Beast.
He did. Yeah, he looked utterly dominant, like insanely good. So I thought that he was gonna like wind down after so I thought he was gonna wind down after GSL finals, and I was like, oh man, okay, he's going to the military, like he's just gonna take it easy. But he was like, no, you idiot, I'm gonna play even better. So he like dusted Beyond 3-0, and Beyond was not playing poorly. Like it was Zest playing really, really well. Marine Lord took down Max Pax, which is very cool because now we're going to see a little bit of a rivalry start to blossom there.
Oh, I mean, that rivalry was already there when he made the easier tools tweet, okay? From that
yeah,
point
but
on,
it's not really a rivalry when one side is winning all the time. You know, that's just
but he's
just
been
like
winning in DreamHack Europe too, though.
over Max Pax.
Yeah, he
that's how he
knocked him
got to
out.
season finals.
No. But when he made the tweet, he hadn't been winning yet.
Now, of
No.
course,
Yeah. But no. It's cool to see. Yeah. I'm just saying it's cool to see like that developing. Obviously he had that gigantic win, 3-2. Like that was huge. That was gigantic. But it was cool to see that it wasn't just a fluke. And then in an online tournament where he didn't have the prep time, he could still replicate that. So that was cool to see too. Because now it doesn't just become like like a oh, he took like one series. Now it's like okay, like they're both going to be even with each other. So that's really cool. And then Marine Lord killed every single probe but one from Zest with Widow Mines, and Zest still like beat the crap out of him. But it was a really, really fun series. And just the maps were amazing. And same thing, we got some drunk Canadian put up 200 USD. I put up 100 USD. And then I think all told, after doing the same thing you guys did with the half splits, I think we got up to like 600 USD or something, like for the tournament prize pool. But yeah, sorry, I just have to before we move on, I have to give the shout out to the other person who's the reason why it happened. Sushi, Alpha X's Sushi, actually reached out to some drunk Canadian and was like, hey, Rotterdam and Wardi are doing this tournament. Like, there's none for NA. Why don't you try this? And then, some drunk Canadian reached out to me, and then we got the ball rolling from there. And, now we've got this very original idea that's totally not stolen from you guys.
It makes the players happy, makes the scene happy. Gave us some late night entertainment because I was watching some of the games even when I got ready for my shower. I had it open on my TV. I was like, hey, this is awesome. A midnight shower, and I've got Marine Lord Max Packs, best of 5. Well done, Steadfast. I enjoyed it. Shout out to everyone getting involved. And I'm sure that Zest was happy with it because that guy is grinding, man. He just... Every single dollar he can get his hands on at the moment, it's unreal. I have no idea where he finds his stamina from, but...
He plays everything. I message him and like I swear down he's in the middle of a ladder game. Like, I see him in the middle of the game and he replies, yes, go.
Yeah.
If I invite him to a tournament, he's like, wait, there's a tournament invite? Yes. Gets back. And I'm like, do you care what day you play? He's like, any day.
Yeah.
You're like,
at this point it's like, hey Zest, and he's like, yes. It's like, you want to marry me? Like,
got him.
Got him.
Prize pool?
I was like, well, the bank account ain't that impressive, Zest, but the heart is in the right place. But all right, Cobra, let's go ahead and take a look at this Q&A because it's already been a relatively long show and I don't want to make it any longer than what it currently is. Of course, all the love to the Patreon supporters. We know we've been a little bit inconsistent, more inconsistent than we should be with the Pylon show. That's not for lack of trying. I'm literally losing my friendship with the Apollo, Sean, over me trying to get him on the Pylon show. I'm harassing him every single week. He's getting sick of me. I'm getting sick of him shutting me down. So there is a long-lasting friendship on the line here, but I will not give up. Other than that, Cobra had a lot of things going on. He's involved with so many different projects. I have really been running on my last leg, so don't think that we're just sitting here not caring about the Pylon show. We do really care, and we will try to be more consistent than we have been. But yeah, there is a Patreon badge if you guys do want to support it. And yeah, just make sure that the Pylon Show will keep going strong. Let's take a look at some of these questions that have been asked by our Patreon supporters. Homos Clint. You're playing a charity 4v4 event and you got to pick your teammates. Only rule is they can be in the StarCraft community. Who do you pick and why? Reynor, 3 famous people you want on your team.
3 famous people I want in my team.
Yes.
Good question. Who do I want in my team? Surely someone fun. Because they're gonna be fucking noobs at StarCraft anyways if they're not in the community. So might as well have someone fun. But honestly, I have no clue. I have no friends outside the StarCraft community.
All right. Wardi, you can have 3 random people on your team in a charity match. Who do you want to have on your team?
I didn't realize there was a world outside the StarCraft community.
Oh my god, you guys suck at
This
this.
is
All right,
terrible.
I'll go first, okay? I'll get Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen so they can bitch at each other that the units are blocking one another and they can blame at each other for not sending units in the right direction. And then who else I'll get? I don't know, maybe someone from MMA or someone. I'll get Tyson Fury. Like imagine a team: Max
Kobe, man.
Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Tyson Fury. Love it. Steadfast. Who do you want on your team?
I actually have the right answer to this one. And I'm not going to choose. I'm only taking one person. I'm going to take Vladimir Putin because he's going to make my opponents disappear. Like they just will not be there. And yeah, well, it's just going to be an auto win for us. Just
Did you guys see that?
200 IQ.
Did you guys see that Vladimir Putin actually sent a letter to the Dota team that won TI?
yeah, he was cheering for all of the esportsmen.
Yeah.
Really?
Sick
That's
though,
insane.
like honestly, pretty sick.
Look
Getting
it
a
up.
message from Big Vladimir. All right, thank you very much, Thomas. Yeah, now you disappeared Steadfast. That's what you get when you joke about Russia, mate. KGB is coming for you. All right, thank you, Thomas, for your love and support to the Pylon Show. Obviously, there is a Patreon over at thepylonshow.com as well, or a button underneath my stream. Next question, and I like this question actually. Neon, do we jerk each other off too much sometimes of being the hardest 1v1 game, or do we have every right on earth to do so? Do you wish to move away from that image, not necessarily regarding game mechanics, but just how we talk and look at the community as a whole? I will go first, and then you guys can follow me. I actually do think that it's a bit silly. Like, yes, StarCraft is incredibly competitive and StarCraft is incredibly hard. But you know what's also really hard? Being the best Dota player in the world or finding 4 people to play Dota on that kind of a level. Playing Smash Brothers 1v1, Counter-Strike. All these games are hard. Like, some games are clearly easier, you know, but I'm not going to mention them. These games are all hard. And StarCraft is indeed incredibly hard. But we are not the only difficult game. It's not the only competitive game. And I feel like this whole almost elitist attitude that, you know, the StarCraft 2 community and maybe some of all of us have had in the past really hasn't ever done us any good. So, yeah, from my part, we dropped that. I think people know. We don't have to say StarCraft is hard for people to know StarCraft is hard. So that's my take on it. Wardi.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone knows that StarCraft's hard. The people that really need to bring it up are people who are losing an argument and need to make their point. Like, StarCraft's really hard, though. You know. I mean, I don't know. I don't buy into all of this shit. I don't care. I just like StarCraft, you know. So.
Yeah. Steadfast.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be the hardest game for sure, but like, is it worth it to drive away people who would otherwise like, you know, talk to you about something and like maybe actually join the community because you're like, well, no, you don't understand. No, it's really hard, guy. Like, no, it's harder than anything you've ever done in your life. Like, no, literally everything you've done doesn't matter because you don't play. Like, come on, yeah, let's just chill and like actually recognize that not just other video games, but literally all of life is hard. Life just isn't easy, you know, like people are going to struggle with different things. So getting a little bit like, I don't know, shitty needlessly is definitely not a good way to win friends. And I think as in general, we kind of have moved away a little bit from that as a community, but I think we can definitely move a lot further away.
Reynor.
Well, we all know that StarCraft is hard, but do we really need to be known as the hardest game? Like, is that gonna bring us any good? I really doubt it. So, I don't see the point of bringing it up each time. Like, obviously, StarCraft is hard, but We don't need to, just push it in everyone's face because it doesn't bring any good to us. So, yeah, I wish we would stop a bit.
All right. There you have it, Neon. Thank you very much for supporting the Pylon show. And thank you for submitting a question. I always get a little scared when I see that name, Ravi Parikh. Hello,
Jeez.
friends. Roddy Reynor, what are your favorite mugs? Unbroken ones only. My Montreal one, actually. I got it from my great-great-grandmother. Well, she gave it to my grandmother that then gave it on to my mom. And then my mom gave it to me as a celebration of me getting my first house. And Reynor broke it. So that's definitely my favorite mug. Reynor, what's your favorite mug?
Obviously, the dickhead mug that I gave you.
it's
That's
not broken.
special to me. Unbroken ones. What does that mean? Like
That's still whole. You didn't drop it on the floor.
I
He
get
doesn't
yeah.
understand what unbroken mugs are. He only knows broken mugs.
Yeah. No. I actually got it wrong. Sorry. I thought he said unbroken only, but it's like unbroken. Yeah. I got it mixed up in my brain. It's
so the dickhead mug is obviously my favorite. I think it represents you very well, Kevin.
I do like that one, to be honest. I also have a beautiful Blizzard mug from one of the BlizzCons that I want you to stay very far away from. I have one more Montreal mug left out. No! So there are a couple favorite ones. Thank you, Ravi. Steadfast. I saw you lose. Oh, no. I saw you lose.
No, go for it. Commit.
Today.
He got it. Yep.
No question. Just sorry. That's a rough body. Steadfast. Any comments?
I could choose to get angry and get upset. So I will. Fuck off. No, I'm just kidding. Ravi, you're a real funny lad. People think that you are, just this mean guy. You've got this reputation, but I know you've really got a soft heart of gold. But that being said, it was fun. I would rather lose to a friend than give my points away on the ladder,
I would agree with that, unless it's Upper 3 Zelda. Like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could take that, guys. Did he overstim his army while beating you?
Well, yeah, of course. It was just... What kind of question is that? Of course he did.
All right, and Wardi, last. Did you know your camera isn't centered? Don't you do this for a living? Even Reynor is centered.
Yeah, man, I know I'm not centered because I have a cool room to show off, not like the darkness of Reynor's camera right now. Like, I don't know, I just have a cool room. This is the camera angle that works. I sit here, for DreamHack I have to go over here and be like, sit really awkward, and I hate it, I finally just got to move my camera back because I had to have pointed down for DreamHack for 3 weeks. So let me live in my off-centered life, Ravi. It's not about
I think it looks beautiful. I still think though the carrier up a little bit, and I think this Wardi TV banner, Wardi, like I think it was really cool when you got started, but I feel like you have outgrown that kind of a banner. I think we can do better.
It means a lot to me. My parents bought me it. They really believed in Wardi TV.
Yeah, well, you
back
can
then.
put it above your computer. You can still look at it. You get inspired by it every single day.
Hey,
but...
my room's too big. I don't have a wall here. I've got half a room left. I'm living the life now.
Yeah, I think
you got that Geralt
awesome.
room.
By the way, are those Pokemon cards on your desk unopened?
Yeah, funny story. They arrived and I opened them, and Helen was like, "Didn't we open them last night?" I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Funny that, isn't it? I have no idea where these ones came from. The exact same set of tins. Didn't realize we accidentally ordered two. It's a tough life out here. That's why we have no money on the Wardi stream anymore."
Sounds like a rough life.
But
This is a true story, guys.
Last night we got Charizard.
Yo, let's go.
Living good.
A true story. We had a very sweet talent manager last time we were all in Stockholm, and she offered us to get us anything. And normally anything means like, do you need help ironing your clothes? Do you need coffee? Do you need some food? Kalaras and Wardi made this Swedish lady go out to buy them Pokemon cards, okay? And I'm not talking about a booster pack. No, I'm talking about boxes, like something that a store normally buys, but you guys buy it for yourself.
And the best bit is not just like during the day. Like she went in the morning before it was time for like our call time and everything. Like she went so out of her way. I felt guilty, but if Kalaris was making it, I mean, I'm gonna join in, right? So.
You guys have unwrapped like 300 booster packs in Sweden. It was ridiculous. All right, thank you, Ravi, for the love to the Pylon show, mate, and honestly, everything else that you also support. Lino, my German friend. Hi, guys. I was surprised when Rotti announced the team, but glad you guys got the platform. There is level 2 Passionlords. As Rotti's personal chef, I would have an easy recipe to contribute for Alibi. My girlfriend wanted some art in the apartment, and I had Saito in mind, but now I am convinced. Keep it up. Okay, that was an old question, I guess. That was about the... Yeah, I guess this is an outdated question. But yeah, that's something related to the previous episode of the Pylon Show we had, where we had an artsy edition. Thank you, Lino, for the love. I appreciate it. We'll just move on then. Polly, worst and best map additives like rocks, speed, slow zones, etc. Which one would you like to have back we haven't seen for some time? And what do you guys think about AR mobs who guard gold minerals or rich guys? Creeps? Creeps?
Yo, let's go.
Wardi? Creeps?
Creeps, yeah. I want to play a bit of Warcraft and my Starcraft, don't I? I think they should bring back rocks on top of expansions. Maybe slow that Zerg third down a little bit. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, guys? You know.
I'm really trying to not flame you, Wardi, but yeah.
I think we should take it back one further and go for the novice maps, where you have to break
where you
rocks
get
to get out
walled
of your
into your
natural.
main.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was so confused when I landed for the first time and there was no rocks there. I built an army to break out the rocks, and obviously, like, I would have been able to see if the rocks were there. I specifically got my army, went to click my rocks, and they weren't there, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happened?"
Oh no,
So it's tough
someone broke the map.
All right. Do we have more, Wardi?
Hold on. We gotta talk. There's some
Okay,
there's some
go
like real good stuff on this. Like
right.
I want to reiterate slides, like slides. And also then to talk about the Saito. So the artwork I have up in my top corner is by Cytotonic. So yeah, I would there's a lot of great people I'm sure you can commission stuff from. I know that it's a great place to go. But yeah, back to the map things. What stuff don't we see these days? What stuff used to be there that like we don't see? Because I feel like there are still a lot of things. Like we don't see any Xel'Naga watchtowers. Like what would you think about like a half radius Xel'Naga watchtower?
Well, you see, they actually brought Xel'Naga watchtowers back on Pride of Altaris. The funny thing is, it only covers like 10% of the map, so no one noticed yet. So yeah, we're good. This map pool actually has Xel'Naga watchtowers. One thing that was in TLMC that I hadn't seen in a long time was like a rock tower. You know, when you collapse the rocks and it
I love
makes
the
a bit
rock
more of a
towers.
joke. I always thought that was cool. Give you a bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
strategy choice. You can knock it down offensively, defensively.
I like those
that.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I've
like
got
rock
no
towers.
issue with rock towers. Reynor,
And if
how
you
do
force
feel
field
about
or fungal something in there, you can kill like
Yeah,
50 supply.
Mhm.
But the
I did
rocks
that
falling?
once.
Yeah,
That's Because normally it pushes the units out of the way, but if there's a snare that holds it there, like a force field or like,
Yeah.
I don't know if fungal at its current version
It
would do
probably
it.
would.
I think it would, yeah. But like you can kill a lot of supply very quickly doing that. It was it's my best ever play in StarCraft 2 as I did that in a ZVZ.
How do you feel about those kinds of things on the map, Reynor, where you can knock down rocks to create more rocks?
Yeah, sure. I like that kind of stuff, but I don't like when it's too pushed. You know, like yeah, you can have one of those in the map, but like don't push it too much. I think at least for pro players, like obviously for the casual gamers, it would be better to have a lot of that stuff in the maps. But I feel like pro gamers just hate that kind of stuff where there's a bit of randomness in the game that you don't want. So I think yeah, rocks falling is fine. Like slow zones, for example, I think they should be removed already. Like they don't bring anything to the game; they're just annoying. And but yeah, so something cool is nice, but don't push it too much.
Is there
So
anything
you think we
ever
should have
thought
more
of that you
four-player
would...
maps then?
What? Sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead,
just
Seth.
being a cheeky shit. Sorry, go on.
I mean, 4-player maps I think are fine if it would have spawning indicators. Like, I have no issue with 4-player maps, and even the spawns can be random. It can be horizontal, vertical, cross, I don't care. There should just be a ping in the beginning of the game where someone spawned. And that would honestly solve a lot of the issues that 4-player maps bring. Not all of them, because obviously cross map is going to be better for Zerg. Horizontal is going to be better for Terran. But I still don't hate it, because not everything always needs to be catered towards the 20 best players in the world. I think other people can have fun with StarCraft too. But yeah, they obviously need to fix that, because it's bullshit to lose against something that you honestly cannot scout. And then to the one person who's like, but you can send out multiple workers. No, You cannot do that, okay? Because then you have no income and you're always going to lose normal games. All right. Anybody else? Anything? Maps? Futures? No? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Moving on then, we have a question from our lovely Alexander. What other fun games could the players compete in at Homestory Cup? Pizza Rally, for instance. Teams make a stack of pizzas and race to deliver them across town to the venue, similar to the infamous couch carry. Or a rock band for something more traditional. Sculpture could be fun too. What would you love to do in Krefeld, Reynor?
You don't want to know. Okay. I mean, you want to know, but the viewers don't want to know.
Well, I want to know.
I just have fun with the boys. Yeah, just hang out. Nothing too special. I think we just drink a bit, have some fun. No, not. Yeah, you know what I mean, Kevin.
Sort of, not totally, but sort of. Steadfast, is there anything you'd love to see the guys from Take TV organize?
Oh man, yeah, I would love to see. I remember there was like the water balloon fight or something last time. I feel like it probably is going to be a little bit too cold. I don't know what the temperature is going to be around that time.
Yeah, you don't want to do that right now, mate.
So yeah, just like pre-freeze the water balloons, and then it's just a real war. Like it just, no, I think I'd love to see, I don't know, something like that. It's not really an option to do what I was talking about, but the stuff that's being described sounds pretty fun. Maybe not the pizza delivery because that sounds a little bit like complicated, but
yeah.
I would love like a scavenger hunt or relay race of some kind. That'd be fun.
I personally would love to see like a pizza baking contest though between like Reynor and Gabe. See them both make pizzas and then we all try them. I think that kind of stuff could be fun. Or we all make a cocktail and see who makes the best cocktail. I think that kind of fits in the spirit of Homestory Cup. Wardi, anything you'd love to see?
Based on personal experience, I feel like the rest of the world needs to see StarCraft nerds try to play beach volleyball. It's horrendous. After a whole week in Valencia, we still couldn't get the ball over the net. Made for some great content if you put that on film for 10 minutes, I promise you.
I mean, since we actually always play poker at Homestory Cup, I really think you can make a very fun stream if you just have one actual voice that gives some commentary and then a microphone near the table. And then obviously, I know it's hard to show the cards because there is a way to do that, but that wouldn't last very long. Then people would just spill beer over the fancy table and then Dennis would have a heart attack. But I still think that you can actually do a fun stream of making it a somewhat broadcastable poker table. And it's honestly a lot of fun. I feel like the memes are always really good with the Koreans too and stuff. Bunny, Solar, they are very fun to play some poker with. So I think that'd be cool. I'd love to see.
I also want to play poker this time.
Yeah,
I'd love to think about this.
I actually think
competition.
A 3-legged race would be really fun too. And then like a wheelbarrow race. But like the tallest person has to be the front person. So like you have Harston being pushed by like, I don't know, somebody who's got like they've got like 10 inches of height on him. Or he's got 10 inches of height on them.
But Steadfast, like when I listen to these ideas, then somebody's gonna trip, somebody lands on their arm, they break their hand, they cannot play in Katowice. Like this sounds terrible. I don't think we can do this.
What do you mean? That's never happened exactly as you're describing to the Muslim and that one MLG.
Yep, that was a great idea. The Muslim just broke his arm, then started doing a sprint race on concrete and fell again on his arm with a metal plate inside of it. Right before playing an MLG competition. Yeah, great idea by EG back then. Moving on, thank you, Alexander. We've got Tommy Bells. I think we can all agree that MC was the David Lee Roth. I have no idea who that is. Of StarCraft in the early to mid 2010s. With that being said, who would you consider to be the Sammy Hagar of StarCraft 2? If you would tell me that's a porn star, I would believe it, because that's kind of what that name sounds like. Like, I would donate to Wardi under the name Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hang It or something, but who are these people? Wardi, do you have Steadfast? I think you probably know them.
I just Googled it, so I just Googled it, still don't know, actually, so I'll pass.
They're actually famous historians.
Okay.
They're, they're like rockers, but I have no idea who they are. I know that they're pretty old. One of them's from Indiana, so I don't know. I guess MC was from Indiana. Where's Sammy Hagar from?
MC
I don't know.
From Indiana. All right.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. Let's say Marine Lord. Marine Lord's both of them, actually.
My Rainlord is just the ape of StarCraft 2.
I think that's the best answer you're gonna get, Tommy, or Tommy Balls. But thank you very much. I don't know if it's bells or balls. I can't read that from here. I have the feeling it says balls.
It's balls.
All right, it is. It's balls. Thank you, Tommy, mate, for the love to the Patreon Pylon show. And then we've got another question by Foxy Socks. Hi, I was thinking of hosting or casting my own version of that one StarCraft tournament where the winner gets a pizza. Are there any legal issues I'd run into when organizing it, like related to prize winnings or international currency, that kind of thing? This honestly, to me, strikes me as a troll question, but I don't think it is. No, you can absolutely run your own tournament on your own channel and give away a pizza or give
If the
away.
pizza sucks, I'm definitely suing you, though.
I was gonna say I really hope not, because I feel like if they're gonna have trouble giving out a pizza, I'm probably in a lot more trouble by now. So.
I think we'd be in a lot of trouble for Monday alone, guys. Like all three of us. It's like Blizzard is coming for us. Like, what did you do? He's like, you guys hosted the tournament in that game that we own, but we forgot about. It's like, oh no, we're so sorry. No, we gave you new maps. Okay, I know. All right, but no, Foxy, on your own channel. As long as you behave, you don't say any naughty words, and you keep your clothes on, you can run whatever StarCraft tournament you want. I believe that legal rules start applying if your prize pool is above $10,000.
Actually, in theory, below $10,000, you
Yep.
are agreeing to a community license, so you can't be sponsored by tobacco, alcohol, pornography, and like a couple of betting websites. Like, I mean,
Let me clean the room real quick, guys. Those are my only sources of income. Jeez Louise.
Run is back at this point, then. You better run,
Yeah.
Kevin. What the fuck?
No, sorry, buddy. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Like, you like basically agree to a community license. I actually like when I started, someone messaged me saying you didn't apply for a community license. I was like, oh my god! I mean, someone nowadays no one cares. I'm pretty sure you can do whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure you could run 100,000 tournament, and then ESL might be like, wait, I don't think you're going to do that, and Blizzard be like, well, we still have Beckett in the map pool. We've got bigger issues.
And ESL will be like, you want EPT points? We're like,
For the pizza.
Yeah, so-
or-
So people don't know this, but Blizzard, they're in a little bit of legal hot water, so to speak. They actually shredded all of the documents about StarCraft 2 when there was just that big vamoose. So they actually just don't even own the company anymore. So it's just we're all good now.
for a second there, I thought you were serious. You had me in the first half, mate. I was not gonna. I was like, where is
I
he
still
going?
think
Because
he was serious. What the fuck?
no.
No.
Okay.
All right, nice one. You got me. You had me in the first half. Not gonna lie. Thank you, Foxy. Good luck with your tournament. Have a blast. And if you keep on supporting the Patreon of the Pylon Show, I will absolutely host your channel whenever you are live. So next time, let us know where you are planning on doing that. Is that it, my good friend Cobra? No, it's not. We have one more. My sweet Baxter. What is Neeb like in person at tournaments or practice? Are there any funny stories of Neeb? Oh, I actually have a really good
Yes.
story.
Is this
Yeah,
no?
but I don't know if I can share that one. I don't know if you
I
would
think
like
it's
that.
I feel like it's long enough ago that it's almost fun. I don't know. Thinking back to it now, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I don't think Alex would be too upset if I share.
No,
But you
I
know what?
think-
I have
I
to.
think-
Yeah, I will double check. I actually don't want to do it because I really hate making people feel uncomfortable.
Next time.
This is
next
it's
time.
obviously not a bad story, guys. It's just the way that it all happened, it was just really funny. And his reaction was priceless. The only thing I can say is that Alex is honestly an incredibly nice guy. He's always very pleasant to have a conversation with. He is about as nice as you imagine him by just watching his interviews online. You're like, wow, he seems really nice. That's how he is. Alex is just really, really nice. That's all I've got. Reynor, do you have any funny stories about Neeb in practice?
Not in practice, but I spent a lot of time with Alex in China. I think he was one of the few guys that was there. Oh yeah, because I had this WCG tournament or something, and I think Alex was the only non-Korean there, and we were just going around. I can only say that Alex is a lot more fun than he looks like on interviews. Alex is wild, man. That's it.
Steadfast, do you have anything good? I know you got to spend quite some time with Neeb at some of the NA events.
Yeah. To speak to Neeb's character, his personality, he is so insanely nice, so insanely humble. And he genuinely just loves the crap out of StarCraft 2. it's not really a funny story, but it's kind of a funny thing about his personality. Like, if you're ever like, oh my God, Neeb, you just beat like 7 of the best pro gamers in the world, 1v7. How did you do that? And he's like, ah man, Protoss is really good. And and you're like, no, Neeb, you just traded like 60 times more cost efficiently. Like, that was perfect micro. Like, everything was so good. And he's like, nah, I don't think I played very well. And you're like, no, Neeb, you just won like $200,000. And he's like, yeah, but like, yeah. And you're like, Neeb, shut up. Just be just be, own it. Like, he's so humble. And it's like, it feels almost disingenuous, but like, it's not at all. Like, he just really is like that, like, critical, and that, I guess that, like, that humble. Yeah. And it's kind of funny to see that.
You know, buddy, now that I think about it, I actually think we can absolutely tell the story because it's like
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
most
so.
innocent things ever. It's really not a big deal. So
Yeah.
basically, we went to a nice Brazilian place, which was kind of like, it wasn't a club and it wasn't a lounge. It was like kind of in between, right? We had a table, we stood there, we all had some mojitos. And eventually there were like some girls that came to our table and they started chatting with us. And there was one girl who just kind of looked at Alex. She's like, I kind of like that boy. So they had a little bit of conversation. We were just still chatting around. I was chatting with Wardi. We had some other friends there too. Suddenly we see this girl. She just grabs Alex and she makes out with him. And we're like, whoa, Alex, big man. He's like, why? I didn't do anything. like people are like, good job, Alex. And he's like, but I didn't do anything. Because it was all her. And it like Alex just kind of stood there. But he had a great time. But his response was just golden at that moment where people were like, wow, that was cool. And he's like, didn't do anything. It's kind of just like he
He's
won a
like,
game
"Oh."
by accident, He's like, just stood there, guys. Like it wasn't me. It's like it was you, Alex.
He's
It was
actually
you.
built different.
Yeah.
Built different. He got the girl without even trying, did
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
What a fucking beast.
No, Alex had no saying in the matter. He just stood
Yeah.
there, and
Giga Chad.
that's what you were thinking of as well, right, Wardi?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I
It was
didn't
like
do
my
anything.
favorite Neeb moment ever. I will never forget the moment where, like, after it happens, we're all like, Alex! And he's just like, what? I didn't do anything. In this, like, super lively bar, and he's just like, yeah. My other favorite moment of Alex that night as well was he was like, actually, I'm going to double check on this one. I've got this story written down. I'm going to double check until another time.
Okay.
Sorry for the bait.
No. Well, guys, if he does the same as me, then you guys will hear it a minute from now. No, but this one was so innocent. And this is also over 5 years ago. So, yes, guys, Alex had kissed a girl over 5 years ago. I think we can all live with this. I don't think
No.
this
He
is really-
didn't do anything.
That is true, actually. He didn't even do anything. All right. That is really going to do it. I do want to give all the love to the big Patreon supporters out there still. We do truly apologize that the show has not been as frequent as it should be. Hopefully, after Stay at Homestory Cup, we're going to be able to do that a bit better again. But as you guys hear at the agenda, there is so much StarCraft. King of Battles is coming up. We've got Stay at Homestory Cup next 4 days. Then you've got the Last Chance qualifiers later this year. Obviously, there is... TSL coming up that has a lot of qualifiers. It is just non-stop. But all I can say is that Cobra and I will try to get some fun guests. And I will keep on trying of risking my friendship with Apollo to get him on the Pylon show. But much love to all the big Patreon supporters out there, but of course also everyone that's supporting us with $10 a month. It does really make the difference. It justifies Cobra spending a lot of time on this because it's really not as easy as it looks. Anything I'm missing, Cobra? Do you want to give some special love to some names that stand out for you?
We got Cadiferous 87, Field of Sins, and Shane still plugging away at $100 a month. Thank you very much. That's about
Nothing
it.
else.
I'm very tired, man. I'm gonna go to bed after this.
I know you've been working hard. I know you've been busy traveling around the Americas, but all right, so much love. And one more time, if you guys want to do it, obviously take a look at patreon.thepylonshow.com or click on my Patreon button underneath my stream. That's not my personal Patreon, guys. I don't have a personal Patreon. That is just for the Pylon Show. I think that's going to do it, guys, because we've got some long days ahead of us, and I don't want to make this show any longer than it's already been. So let's get some final shout-outs out of the way. First up, let's start with Reynor. Reynor, I know you're excited
Shout out.
about
Yeah.
stay at Homestory Cup, but you're also going to be streaming a lot in the upcoming weeks. Isn't that so?
Yeah, true. So I'm gonna be streaming a lot on the upcoming days and months because I'm staying at Rotti's house and then I'm moving in my own apartment. But yeah, I'll be streaming a lot. My Twitch channel is RB underscore Reynor, and yeah, if you guys want to check it out, I'll as I said, I'll probably be streaming daily. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Is it only going to be StarCraft, or will you be playing that weird game where you play one character too?
Well, yeah, I'm trying out some League streams as well because it's the only other game that I feel like I'm decent at. So yeah, I've been trying to stream a bit of League so far. I did one stream and it turned out good. So yeah, it's probably gonna be obviously way more on StarCraft, but yeah, I'll probably bring something else as well. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show tonight. Are you going to win the Stay at Homestory Cup, or is it going to be an early exit?
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna win.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
All right. Big words, big words. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Twitter profile of Wardi. Wardi, thank you so much, mate. I know you had an ultra long day already casting your heart out, but I really appreciate you taking some time out of your evening. Tell Helen I'm sorry, okay? And I will make it up to her, and I'll make sure that you can spend
That
plenty
was
of
my
time with
shout
her.
out, mate.
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say you need to get in them DMs right now because I think don't know if I'm in some trouble. No, yeah, just I'm casting Stay at Homestory Cup B stream the next couple of days. It's gonna be fun. After that, I'm casting StarCraft like every day until season finals. It's just I'm just excited to stream, man. Like it's been a while since I've been able to stream properly. Like a few hours, more than like 3 hours a day, and streaming in the evenings. And I'm at my happiest when I'm streaming. So check out the stream. We've got loads of tournaments. We've got 40 TV stuff, World Team League, just loads of StarCraft.
It's a rare treat that you get to join us at all, because I just want to
Yeah.
put some backside in here. We ask Wardy to come a lot, but he is so busy that he's just involved with all the StarCraft stuff, which is why we want him on the show, but he's also too busy to actually make it
Yeah.
often. So it's a rare treat to get to have you.
I've never actually turned the Pylon show down because I'm just like, oh no, I just don't want to. I feel like it's every single time, like, well, I would, but I'm like in the middle of my like 17-hour stream then, guys. Sorry. So yeah, it's been busy this year. There's been so much to cast, so
Yep. In a weird way, I feel like we all got busier, even though it should be the opposite, but it really isn't. But thank you so much, mate, for taking some time out of your evening, and obviously wish you all the best running everything over at twitch.tv/Wardi with 3 eyes. And then last but not least, also a man who's just grinding like an absolute MF your life so much. I really respect the effort you're putting in. Steadfast, what do you have to be excited about in the upcoming weeks?
Well, I am. Yeah, like you said, the grind is real. I casted the OSC King of the Hill this morning, and I'm going to be casting the Psystorm Open Cup in 3 hours and 20 minutes from now. Yep. So that's an open tournament, so feel free to sign up with that. And then, World Team League's happening. I'll be covering that. ESL Cups every week, Saturday nights, Monday all day. Same stuff you guys do. I'll be traveling to Vancouver in November. Like I said, November 17th, I'm traveling to Vancouver and then come back on the 21st. I had my streak going for a long time, but they were able to, I think they were able to finally break it by scheduling it when I'm literally on a plane. So I'm going to see if I can, hijack. I probably shouldn't use that term. Get the internet. I was going to say hijack the Wi-Fi on the plane, but no, let's not put those two words in the same sentence. Trying to get some plane Wi-Fi or something to keep that streak going. And then there is something else that I can't say just yet, but it's kind of the biggest breakout for me personally for my career in terms of casting stuff, and I think that's going to be announced in the next week or two probably. And yeah,
Pog.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I said poggers.
Poggers.
Yeah.
I kind of
Pog
thought out there
destroyed him.
towards the end,
What the
but
fuck, it was too
I'm
powerful.
very excited for you, mate. You deserve it as much as anyone at this point.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I
just
know.
got-
We seem
What's
to
going
have
on?
some audio issues. I don't know if I'm
Oh.
still being recorded. Cobra, are you
Hello?
still here?
Hello? I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
hiccups.
I think Discord just looked out.
All right.
Huh.
something bugged out, but Steadfast TLDR, I'm very excited for you, mate. You deserve it. Wish you all the best. Thank you guys so much. That's going to do it for us because I have to drive to Germany in less than 11 hours with this weirdo in the backseat. He's definitely not sitting next to me. No way, Jose. I hope you guys will enjoy Stay
Because
at
I'm
Home Story
driving,
Cup.
fucker.
No, you're not driving. There is not a chance in hell that you're driving. Hope you guys will enjoy Stay at Home Story Cup. We're gonna try to make it as fun as possible. Wardi, wish you all the best on the B stream. Steadfast, thank you for joining. And Reynor, I'll come downstairs to give you a little slap because you've been misbehaving today. Good night, guys. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be, and we'll do our absolute best to bring you guys a Pylon show. I don't know what kind of Pylon show. As soon as I'm home again, it could just be a community-based episode. It could be something random. It could be just kind of talking about the event in Germany. We'll figure it out. It really kind of depends on who's available, who wants to be on the show. And last but not least, once more, the Patreon money is not all money that we just kind of put in our pocket and we buy Pokemon card stuff. I don't have any Pokemon cards. Actually, I do have Pokemon cards, but not recent ones. But obviously, we use that as well to pay our guests and make sure that we can keep on running this show. So just want to get it out there. That's it for me. Thank you guys so much. Cobra, I'll give you the final word. I know you're tired, but say something sweet to our viewers and goodbye.
Thank you very much, everybody. Don't have much. I think there's somebody at the door, though. Hang on 1 second. Oh, wait. Oh, they're coming for you. Did the audio play for you?
No.
Prank didn't work. Okay, never mind. There was an FBI open up sound.
Oh,
clip that was supposed to play.
Ah, okay,
It
okay.
might have played
That
for
makes a lot
stream.
of sense.
I mean, Seth was playing a dangerous game. He's been joking about Vladimir Putin. He's been joking about
Yeah, I
hijacking
know.
planes. Like, it's risky,
Okay,
mate.
I got nothing. Good night, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.